That's right. There it
you.
is. That's
you.
right. That's my icon. That's right. Hey, what's up, people? This is episode 21. It is sponsored by NY Varsity Sports and by the New York Yankees. I am Jason DeBillius, and we are in episode 20. Started as a volleyball podcast, but I told you I was going to branch away. You were looking for interesting people, and me, I got to give the people what they want. Alexandra Kopko, what's good?
Hello. It's me. What the people want.
What were we talking about before we got on the set? We were talking about
our favorite swear words.
Yes, favorite swear words.
And we have one in common.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, asshat.
Asshat
Is my favorite swear word.
It's such a good thing to call someone.
And I started using it around the same time we did our production for Conceal Her on Broadway. Broadway in Houston, right?
It's like,
holy
Broadway
shit.
Where?
Yeah, Broadway.
That's right, it was. It was at an art gallery.
On Broadway,
yeah,
so
technically
they
speaking.
can go kick rocks. So, asshat. Miranda, my host, my tech girl.
Yes.
What's your favorite swear word?
My favorite is an old classic. I like dipshit.
Oh, it's so good.
I feel like it's not that crude
Dipshit
to
is timeless.
say, and it like hits you to the core.
So satisfying.
You're like, you're just a dipshit.
Dipshit.
It seems way more insulting than anything else to me.
It's a really good one because it insults somebody. Like it goes after like their intelligence almost. You're just like, ugh.
It's also timeless.
Oh yeah.
It's
You
like
could see it in the '80s movie.
Yeah,
and then Robert Downey Jr. You can hear him use it in like Avengers, like Infinity War. So we're on your side, dipshit. what are you hassling us for?
I gotta say,
stage.
I hate if I think too hard about it. I hate it, but I really love the word motherfucker.
Yeah.
Because it's something about the 4 syllables. Mm-hmm. It's percussive. It can be used in multiple
many
ways.
ways.
Yeah.
It can be
You
used
can't
like
not
when you
like
stub
it.
your toe. You can call somebody. You can be like motherfucker. Like if you're happy.
Okay, good. That's her example. What's your example of how to use motherfucker? Go.
Oh my gosh.
I put you on the spot.
None of the ones that I said. You have to have new
I know.
ones.
I'm like,
All right, there's an HBO drama called The Wire.
Yeah.
Where Felicia was trying to buy a nail gun. And this dude is like, oh, this is the Cadillac of nail guns and this and that. And she's like, yeah, I like this shit. I like this. So she gives him the money. He's like, you're supposed to pay a pair. She's like, nah, you handle that shit. Right? And he's like, it's $650. You gave me $800. And she says, you keep that. You earn that buck like a motherfucker.
like a motherfucker. That's another way to use it.
That's one of my favorite ways to use it.
That's another really good way to use it.
I feel like I use fuck more than motherfucker. I don't really use motherfucker.
You can use it endearingly too.
I'm like, fuck. But
how about using it endearingly? Sam Jackson. Or which one's your wallet? Pulp Fiction? The one that says bad motherfucker.
I like it because it's versatile.
Bad motherfucker.
You know what I've also started saying recently, and I don't know where I got it? It's not a swear, but rats.
Rats?
Like if something doesn't work out, I'm like, oh, rats. I'm like, what was I watching Newsies? Like, where did I get that?
Get on Christian
But I can say it around children. Baby Christian Bale.
Yeah, Baby Bale.
I just feel like the older you get, the more like old lady cuss words you start to say.
Well, there's some good
because you're
ones.
more aware of your surroundings and you're like, I gotta let it out somehow.
Plus, I look after kids. Like,
Oh, you do?
That's one of my day jobs, so I gotta watch myself.
Oh my
One time
God.
I was
they
playing.
Must love you, dude.
They do. I mean, I've been with them for a long time, so I'm sure they hate me as much as they hate anyone else they've known for a long time. But I was babysitting this one kid once, and we were playing chess, and she beat me, and I just wasn't thinking, and I just went, shit.
Oh, man.
And she was like, oh my God. And I was like, oh my God, please don't tell your parents.
Yeah. She's like, I'm telling, and I might make up something. Like Avengers Endgame, Iron Man, like he's like, he discovered like a way to travel through time. He's like, shit. And his little kid was like, shit. No, don't say that. She said, what are you doing up? I'm some shit here. Oh man, hey, that's how we start our podcast on Facebook Live for people who don't like profanity.
Hey.
So let's we met doing a showcase. We won't call it a show. Let's call it a showcase. But
Yeah.
fuck it, Broadway's Broadway. Michael Ariel Parkes wrote a play or a showcase called Conceal Her.
Conceal Her.
That's
yes.
right. Her and
Not
and
conceal
block.
her.
Conceal her.
Yeah,
Conceal her.
Yeah, and block letters to make it the operative word.
Yes.
And whatever. Let's indulge in the audience and tell people what that was about.
I don't remember. It was a criticism of the expectations put on women to like look pretty.
Yes.
I know that. Mm-hmm. And I know that I played the mom and you played the dad, right?
Yes.
We were married.
That's right. I think I had 2 wives, but I think you
might have
you were
had
number
2
one.
wives.
What was that?
number one.
God, names. We're not even going to do
I
names.
don't remember. I feel terrible.
No.
It was like 10 years ago.
It was almost 10 years ago.
Yeah.
It's true. Yeah, so basically, for those of you listening, Conceal Her was exactly what she said. It was about, it was theme based on how, and definitely character driven, on how unrecognizable women would be or will be if they don't put on their mask. Let's call it their mask.
Yeah, it was very, it involved a lot of like extreme makeup and costumes that were sort of an absurdist, like hyper realism of, so really, really long eyelashes and really, really big lipstick. And
could you look up Conceal Her? We're looking up the ass of a dead dog as far as finding it on
I've never
on
heard
the
that one
internet.
before.
But geez, sorry.
It was good though. I remember it being a fun process.
Yeah, I only brought it up because my favorite part was you and I were in it, and our daughter, right, was supposed to get married.
Yes.
And then
she had to do a blowjob scene.
Yes.
Oh my God!
Yes, she had to do a blowjob.
If anything's
I mean, it
on
was
the internet,
very.
It's gonna be that part.
No, it was not. It was
Eric
very.
Areola.
Eric, yeah.
He was the guy. He was the main.
He was the poor guy who had to act out an orgasm.
That was.
Oh my gosh!
Come on.
I felt for them so bad.
Look, he's like.
They were so professional. I mean, it wasn't. There was no contact. No. It was very stylized. But
but the shot, like the scene,
yeah.
and the angle that we had to use to make it look real, had to make. We made the audience cringe. As wait a second, Eric is particularly good on this scene.
Yeah.
As far as reacting. Oh, leg start left. He did the stank leg. He did the stank leg. No, but my favorite part of the scene.
I've blocked all this out.
Well, this is my favorite part of the scene. Yeah, we're the parents, right?
Yeah,
come on,
it's my daughter.
Ah!
No.
Oh my God, and I'm definitely the dad. I'm like, come here, let me talk to you for a minute.
Let me talk to you for a minute.
No, but my favorite part was when she was in the getting married, right? And she had the makeup, just makeup like you had to chisel it off. She had so much on.
Yeah.
She had the little crown. She was dressed in white in her white dress.
The crown was made of magazine pages.
Yes.
It's all coming back.
Yes.
It's like
Vogue,
all
Chic,
coming back together.
But every magazine that promoted like style and fashion.
Right.
Those magazine parts. So she just gets so hot and bothered. Her character or our daughter just starts ripping off everything. She takes off the makeup. She towels off the makeup. She takes off the dress, just throws it off, and she's nothing but like some kind of undergarment.
Yeah, she had like a tank top and underwear on.
No makeup, and still might have had the crown on. It's not going to be on YouTube.
It's definitely not going to be on YouTube.
But so basically, Miranda, what happens is,
you know what?
She strips herself down half naked, no makeup, and I walk into the room and I'm like, "Have you seen my daughter?
Oh yeah,
Did she
you
go out?
Recognize
She's
her.
supposed to get married, right?" And then you come and you're like, "Where's our daughter?" And I'm like, "I don't know." And you're like, "Who's this?" And I'm like, maybe like family of the groom.
Oh my God, you remember so much more than I do.
So what happened was the stylist puts it on a mannequin because the mannequin was used to hold the dress so she could take it off and put it on. You know, like the mannequin was like the hanger.
Yeah.
Like the hanger
like
for the bride's.
Dress.
Yeah. So what happens is we run back in the room, we see the mannequin and the bride just, oh, thank God. Where have you been?
There's our daughter.
The wedding's about to start. We just
Let's go.
And we run off.
Yeah.
we
were bad parents in that play. We were not good parents.
Worst parents
ever. And you know what I just realized? If you go onto my website, on the side of the resume page, there is a picture of me in costume from that play.
And that's what I was
It's a deep dive,
Where
but
do
I
go?
know
Where
that there
do
is.
I go?
It is www.alexandrakopko.net because apparently someone already had .com.
Wow.
KOPKO.
That on KOPKO, Alexandra Kopko.
And it's on the resume page. But I remember that I was wearing like it was made out of those like shoe racks.
Yes.
Those things that you hang on the back of a closet. And I had like a hairbrush and makeup and wipes and I had like all these beauty products in the pockets. So like that was like my baggage.
Oh my God, that was great. But my favorite line, and I meant to start the episode like this. I wanted the intro to come and then like fade out, and then I was just gonna say, "Never let a man
see your clumps."
Clumps.
I didn't remember it either.
No.
But there was a whole scene where I took a needle. This poor girl trusted me so much. I took a needle and had to like separate her eyelashes because they were clumpy from mascara.
Yeah.
So I had to like get in there with a real needle next to her eye.
No.
Oh.
Now, in my family, it was a big challenge for me because in my family, my mom, all the women in our family are big on the way they wear makeup, and the way we predicate it is the whole point of makeup is not supposed to look like you're wearing makeup.
Yeah,
right.
So if you come out, you come to my house looking like
like a
raccoon.
That's what you're supposed
you know
to
what I'm
do.
saying?
There it is.
I might think you're a burglar. I might shoot you. You know? Yeah, you come in there looking like.
Right, I know. Well, that's why it's so funny when guys are like, I like girls with no makeup on, and we're like, you don't know what you like. You have no idea.
That look takes at least 10 minutes.
Yeah,
sir.
you're like, you have no clue.
As someone that was one of those guys that constantly repeated that, I'm older now. I
know better now.
You know the tricks.
No makeup means quite a bit.
You've seen actual no makeup enough times.
I don't consider fair experience. I consider experience. So let's see the shot. I like the headshot on it. It's on there. It's on this.
Oh,
right
it's
now.
over. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
That was
Which one?
That one.
Nice.
There's my resume, everybody.
Oh my God, that was.
But look, there's the.
awesome.
Don't call her. I'll cut
Don't
off
call
the phone
me.
number.
Don't call
Don't
me.
call her unless it's personal.
But yeah, it was very intense makeup, and we were wearing like leotards underneath.
Full Monty.
Oh
Yeah, that was fun.
Do you know that's one of my favorite movies of all time? Way before the
it?
musical, 1997, the movie came.
Robert Carlyle.
And the movie was so good that it was one of the few times the entire audience didn't leave. You know, like the movies, and I'm one of these guys that stays for the credits. You know, that's just an acting thing.
We all do it now, just in case there's a post-credit scene about
that's
the
how they
sequel.
that's how they honey dick people,
Yeah.
right? That's how they honey dick. That's how they hoodwink people. No, I like honey dick. And it was one of the few times the entire audience, I Believe in Miracles is playing at the end, you know.
Yep.
And
That was
everyone's
their
just
big,
still laughing. Everyone's still cracking up at the dance routine and this and
So
that.
good.
And
It's a great movie.
oh my God. And I love when he's like, what if they don't like us and this and that? And he's like, he's looking at a nude magazine. And he's like, you just criticized that girl's boobs. And
Yeah.
he's like, well, I ain't saying that about her personality. He's like, well, they're not going to be talking about her personality either. And he
Nice
says, and I'll tell you this,
accent.
gents, anti-wrinkle cream they have. Anti-fat bastard cream they don't.
That's a really good Robert Carlyle.
Like that.
Check you out.
Yeah. Well,
There's
what-
a whole number in the musical about that.
Yeah. Well, one of my gifts that I think it actually got me recruited at Marymount is I adapt sounds. Like I listen to someone long enough.
Yeah.
And I did it just for fun, but I guess, a few years
Who's
of
like
theater.
your favorite front pocket impression?
I have a friend named Ricardo Tim. He's from Trinidad.
Well, we'll all recognize that.
Served in the
iconic
military
voice.
together, and then we ended up becoming roommates.
What does he sound like?
Now, he's an outlier because he was there's 5 people in his house, 14 rooms, big house in Brooklyn. And he was the only guy that didn't play volleyball, so we stuck him in the basement. He says, you stick the fucking short guy in the basement. I'm like,
Shun the non-believer.
Well, he's the only guy under 6 feet tall. He's like 5 feet wide. He's a bodybuilder. But cool. We gave him the basement, but we made it sound attractive. Your basement has your own kitchen, dude. It's got your own bathroom. And all of these things were true.
Right.
But we knew
it
we
was
were going to
still
be
the
having
basement.
volleyball parties upstairs, and he works at night. He sleeps during the day. So, what happened was one of my roommates moved in with 2 cats, right? Not neutered. Not fucking fixed.
Oh,
so
dear.
you know what happens. They're caterwauling. Is that the word?
Yeah.
Yeah. So his cat comes by his door. There's a laundry room, and then there's this door, and the cat just basically puts them out to the door. Goes wow, 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 wow. So one night, he busts into my room, just kicks the door open. It's 3 a.m, right? And he's wearing spandex, And he got nothing. He's a bodybuilder, dark as fuck too. He could put fingerprints on Choco. He goes, no, he can go to nights, could get marked absent. So he comes in looking like Hercules, spandex, dark as hell. Not skin. We talked about that, but like
Right.
dark in the room. And in his Trini accent, he said, listen, Bern gotta get them fucking cats spaded. He said, the cat's singing by my door, Jason. He says, I chase the cat away and I go back to bed, the cat come back again. And he said, if he got money for video games, he could get his fucking cat snipped. So the whole time,
I appreciate this man's logic.
yeah, of course, yeah. Because don't you have friends that can't pay their rent, but they got all the state of the art shit in their room? We all went through that age, okay?
Yes.
That's why people are asking me, "You looking for a roommate?" I'm like, "You can go suck. I mean, you can go kick rocks. You know,
rocks.
Yeah, cleaning this
Nice
up a little.
diversion.
No, but when he came in, I was scared because I didn't know why. I was behind the sheet. I'm like this, right? But then when I found out what it was for, I was just. Dude, just throw them out. I don't care. Throw them out in the backyard. Get them out there. Hope they don't come back pregnant.
Have you ever had that, like in New York, where you have like an alley-facing room or something, and they just start fighting and screaming? Screaming cats at 3 a.m. echoing through an alley is the most terrifying sound.
Yeah.
It's so loud and it's so scary.
It is.
I fully sympathize with this basement man.
Yeah. And at the time he was a security guard for the Daily News building.
Oh, wow.
And now he stayed with it, and now he's like one of these higher ups at the Sheraton. So
Good for him.
I say good for him. You know,
Yeah.
ex-military guy, you always want to give him theirs. You know,
go, Glenn
we actually
Kopko.
served the same time. So
Nice.
we actually joined the same time. We studied the same occupational specialty, generator mechanics. I supported MI, and I think he supported Signal.
Nice.
But
Thank you for your service.
yeah, man. Pleasure, man. Yeah, man. This is. You know how they could thank me for my service. Make sure they elect the right person. You know, shoot,
Yeah.
man. We're gonna explore. I invited you here because I know you and I are very passionate about mental health.
Yes.
And
deeply passionate.
And one of the things I didn't mention that I just wanted fresh in the conversation was how I make the strong assertion that almost every hot button political issue where people are butting back and forth, common denominator comes down to mental health.
I agree.
Homelessness.
Oh, yeah.
Homelessness. I mean, some of these guys, okay, they're broke, they're down on their luck in, and
Sure.
you're always going to meet different kinds of homeless people because that guy was a millionaire, this one's wife left him, and then
Right.
there's just some people who they're just mentally out of it, and they're forgotten, and they're out on the street, and they're not being treated, and it's bullshit. You know, it's bullshit because
bullshit.
it's bullshit because the money that we spend on everything, and I'm more in the middle. I lean left or whatever, but I'm
Sure.
more in the middle when it comes to spending. I'm like, I don't want to waste our money on something unless it means something. This
Well,
this means something.
And it's especially infuriating because so many of those people are veterans who are dealing with trauma, extremely valid trauma, who experienced it depending on the concept that their country would then look after them, and they just don't make any. They don't.
Mm-hmm.
And the same politicians that tout supporting the troops and veterans, bring veterans up to support them and make the military their thing, then vote down bills that will help struggling veterans. And that cognitive dissonance makes me insane.
Yeah,
It's so mean.
Well, it drives you mad because, and I think everyone at this table agrees, when it comes to defense spending to send someone somewhere, you never hear someone vote that down. All right,
Right.
like
Oh,
everyone
no.
that opposed Trump. Do you know a couple of weeks ago they actually approved his military budget plan to pimp our soldiers out to
Iran?
Yeah, no, Saudi Arabia.
Oh, to Saudi Arabia.
Yeah,
Right.
that's what we're doing. We're basically sending military battalions there and operating under Saudi command. Which, as someone who served, is just. I mean, I served. My father served. My grandfather served. mom's side, Korean War, father's side, World War II.
Wow.
I got roots that trace all the way back to World War I. My kid's sister, who's 28, just did 2 tours in Afghanistan. She lives in Virginia right now, and she's educating herself. She's finishing her PhD at UVA and this and that. She's
fantastic.
She's the savage. Like, everyone calls me the alpha of the family, and I'm like, you just don't know. so I'm kind of big on that. So I'm voting for, I'm always about what people say, and actually, no, how long have you been in office, and what have you done about it, and what are you doing about it?
Right.
Now, here's the thing about homelessness, and we're going to connect this to veterans. The money's there. How the money's being spent, the allocation of resources and how it's being spent is severely mismanaged. Example, New York. You're still in New York, right?
Oh, yeah.
Bronx, the James Peters VA in the Bronx, and there's one on 23rd Street. Mm-hmm. It's the best hospital I've ever been in my life. They have people from HSS that work there at night and during the day, and they do shifts. And the medical care is incredible.
That's fantastic.
I come here to LA. It is a disaster. It is a disaster, and I'm with my girl, and my girl's like, she says, "You want me to put me on your insurance?" Yes.
Yeah.
Gotta take care of my teeth. Gotta take care of everything. So
since I've been out here, almost everybody I've talked to has had something to say about like how they're having a difficult time with their health insurance.
Yeah.
It's come up like with everybody I've talked to.
Yeah.
And they're not even veterans, just in general.
No,
so it seems like
dying in America is the most expensive thing you could ever do.
Right, exactly. I don't really know what the details are with California's health system.
I've had my head in the sand as far as the California health system is concerned, because once, let's just say that I got a little money put away, but my girlfriend's got a little bit more. If you're not a millionaire by the time you're 40, make sure you're married to one. I strongly encourage everybody to do that. So, you know what I'm saying? But, I worked in a cardiology practice for 17 years, so I got a pension waiting for me there on 72nd and Lex.
There's so much I don't know about you.
Weill Cornell.
I didn't know you
that's
did
why
that.
we're here, man. And listen, the people listening, they're going to find out a whole bunch of things that I never knew about you, and they didn't know, and they more exclusively, they didn't know about us. Here's another example how that's connected to mental health, and this is more hot button armed violence. Mm-hmm. Armed violence. No one, listen, talking about mental health after someone shoots up a school is not the time to talk about mental health. That's more talking about having some kind of legislation to make sure that guns aren't in the wrong people's hands. I get that.
Right.
But there is some level of psychosis that makes someone want to go out and shoot up a whole bunch of people.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
I'm not a doctor, and
Nope.
I'm not a psychologist at
Nope.
all, and I would never want anybody to take my word above somebody who is. But it's always seemed to me like if you look at history, there's violence has been extremely omnipresent in the entire history of being a human being. I mean, a couple hundred years ago, that's how you solved problems.
It's in our DNA.
Yeah, a couple hundred years ago, shooting somebody was how you solved that problem. It's
15
think about
cases.
Yeah, I mean, think about
Bam! Shit, I did it at 13.
Hamilton. I was listening to it and I was like, duels are so stupid. Why would anybody do them? But they did. That was how they solved their problems. And I'm not, by the way, I am not saying that's a good way to solve your problems at all.
No,
I'm just saying,
not the best idea
I
in the
don't
world.
think it takes an absolutely crazy person to kill. I think it takes, I think there's a lot of different factors that go into it, and I think there's different types of people who cause harm.
Right.
And I think that particularly in the case of like teenagers, things like that, mental health is extremely relevant. Like you can be, you can have a myriad of mental health issues that cause you to want to hurt other people before you get to psychosis, I think.
Of course.
And if you don't have the resources, I'm not excusing any behavior because so much of it is also driven by, violent, toxic masculinity and
the biggest one's
society
fear
and stuff like that. But
what's the one thing, right? We don't have to be a doctor to say that. I mean, I don't look. You can do some study on enough stuff to know that you know something, right? Like I don't have to be a chef to know if a steak tastes like shit.
Right.
Okay. This doesn't taste like steak. What are you, a chef? No, I'm not a chef. So
right.
No, but fear is always driving violence. And I think the more fear that's implanted in people or instilled, be it by the media, be it by how parents raise them, or who they surround with, makes them lash out.
Sure.
And that's, like you said, that's not psychosis.
No.
Because there's this big gray area where people are just shooting up a lot of people.
And I mean, it's obviously something that takes a lot of nuance. When looking at how to address the problem. What drives me insane is when you propose gun control and then somebody who doesn't like that idea says, no, mental health, as though that's the alternative.
Yeah. And that's why I said it's not, it's usually not the right time.
Health.
No, but it's usually not the right time to bring it up. That's why I was very, very.
Yeah. I mean, I
got some heat for that.
It's the same thing as like, if somebody says Black Lives Matter and you say, oh, no, all lives matter. It's
that's
like,
not the time to say it.
You're not addressing, right, exactly, meaning that Black Lives Matter. Like, it's when it's said with, like, the intention to contradict. Uh-huh. If you were to say, hey, I really want to solve this problem, I want to make sure that these shootings stop happening, I'm going to put a lot of money and a lot of research into mental health to try and solve that problem. Wonderful.
Yes.
Like,
yes. Where do we sign up?
Absolutely. Yeah. I just don't like it when it's used as like a clobber, like a weapon against gun control, because it's not. They should go hand in hand. There's a middle ground.
I think someone out there is making a ton of money to make sure people, normal people, don't operate in the gray area, right? Yeah. Should there be like
the NRA?
Like, I'll give you an example. Some people. And I'll just use the right as an example because it's lazy and it's general, and I'm feeling lazy today.
Fun.
Will say that when they hear the word gun control, they automatically think what? They're coming from.
They're going to come take.
They're going to come take all my guns away,
right, exactly.
and then when they go take over the country, I don't have my arms to defend myself. Right? I want to bear arm and arm bearers. Okay. In fact, let's arm bearers.
Arm bears. Guys, let's arm bears. That's a great political platform. Everybody can get behind that.
Good thing you ain't hunting for bears, otherwise you might get hurt.
Only you can prevent forest fires. We did it. We solved politics. Yay.
So listen. So you have one side that's like, look, we want some kind of just legislation to make sure that they if someone has a gun, we know who they are. Then you have the other side saying it's my right, which is like my favorite line. I'm actually just gonna take a side here. Mm-hmm. My least favorite line is it's my right. Just because something's your right doesn't mean it's a great fucking idea.
And also, it doesn't mean that it's not complicated.
My grandma and my mom's father's side was senile. Okay, she thought aliens were streetlights. I don't want her having a gun because it's her right. Because it's her right. No.
Well, and rights aren't like single word sentences. They're complicated. There's details to them.
Yeah, free speech, right? Is free speech free?
You can't. No. That doesn't mean you can shout fire in a crowded movie theater. That's still illegal.
Exactly.
You can't.
Yeah.
And also, it drives me crazy when people use the free speech thing to be like, I got consequences for a thing I said, like social consequences.
Yes,
like,
of course.
People didn't like what I said and now they don't want to hang out with me. That's not what free speech means.
No.
It means you won't go to jail for saying something shitty.
Thank you.
It doesn't mean that people have to hang out with you after you say it.
No.
Like,
listen, for those of you that didn't get this plain English thing, I will say it like this: free speech prevents you from being prosecuted by the government, and more often than not, it doesn't prevent other free speech. It is a double-edged sword.
Me saying I don't like what you said is just as free. Like,
and I'm like, I don't like what you said.
It doesn't mean that people have to come to your comedy shows and laugh. Like,
no.
That's what drives me crazy when comedians do it and they're like, nobody laughed at my joke. I'm allowed to say it. Yeah, but that doesn't mean that we have to find it funny. Like,
can you allow me to use my free speech in saying you're playing the victim right now?
Yeah, come on, man.
So,
anyway, what were we were solving homelessness.
We were talking. We were giving examples. Well, we've already solved that.
We're gonna arm the bears.
We already solved that. All right, I'm gonna talk to Bernie. Okay, Vermont.
Somebody's got to get on.
He wants
that
people
platform.
in Vermont to have guns because they all hunt. Joe Rogan, he's a hunter. In fact, he eats what he hunts, which I praise that guy for that. No, we were talking about how all these things connect to mental health. Yes, and gun violence is one of the things. Suicides. is one of those things I'm big on, because like Freud once said, and I'm not a big Freud guy, one's preservation of life is the very essence of sanity. Right. You have to be fucking crazy if you want to kill yourself.
I don't think that's true.
No?
I think, well, here's what I'll say. I'm wary even talking about it, because I know that even just the mention of self-harm and suicide can contribute to it happening in media. Mm-hmm. So, trigger warning, if anybody's listening, if that's something you struggle with, be aware that this is what we're talking about. Yep. So my personal experience with that is that when I was in high school, a lot of my classmates died from suicide. We had what's called like a rash. So between like age 16 and age 20, I had lost 6 people that I knew to suicide, and like 3 of them were good friends. So my experience with suicide is very personal, and I know that everybody from my hometown also has been deeply affected. So that's really what got me into mental health as a subject of extreme passion, because I developed PTSD from it, which I'm very open about. I talk about it in my blog, and I'm sure that a lot of people did in some way, or experienced trauma that lasted. But I've had to do a lot of work in therapy and things like that, processing what happened. And the way that I see it is I used to be very, very angry at anybody who did it, and it was a selfish decision, and how could they do this to the people that they love? And, sometimes I still feel that way. But I've also been depressed, and I've been lucky. My depression anxiety is really more my thing. I'm more of like an anxiety girl. But I have experienced depression, and I've been lucky in that it's been short. I get like short bursts. And I go to a therapist once, sometimes twice a week, and I'm an extremely active participant in my own mental health because I had access to it, because I was raised in an environment that didn't shame me for it, because I never grew up with any stigma about it. So like I already had a head start in working on my mental health, and I'm very grateful about that. And I also acknowledge that gives me a lot of privilege. So when I feel depressed, I am able to hang on to the fact that it won't last forever, because I've had it and it's been short.
Right.
But for somebody who can't get out from under it, I can understand.
Absolutely.
I can understand how it would just, it's an illness. Yeah. Like I can understand how it would just be so heavy on somebody that they really couldn't make it.
It's exhausting.
It's exhausting. I don't know what you guys' personal experience with depression
well,
is,
there are levels of this, and I'm definitely going to share one, but
yeah.
you have legs right now, and and it's very meaningful.
Yeah, I've now gotten to a place with my own processing of my closeness with that kind of thing, to a place where I have extreme empathy about it, and I don't know. I'm still a work in progress about it, but I've stepped away from thinking black and white about it. I've managed to get to a place with like time,
right,
where my thinking about it is much more nuanced, and I try to lead with empathy.
Yeah, that's in fact, you steering the conversation this way is definitely a testament to the gray area that you're more than willing to enter and share. Yeah. Right, I started black and white. Preservation of life, Freud, for Christ's fucking sake.
Freud.
Yeah, it's like, so. Me, I told you before the podcast, my strength is I personalize my work.
Yeah.
Someone's like, what's your weakness? I said, I personalize my work.
Right.
When your passion, and when you're, and you as a volleyball player, Miranda, you can share this with me and chime in anytime you want. When your passion becomes your career, and it's all you're about, the ups and downs of those things are magnified.
Oh my God.
Magnified
yeah.
fivefold. When I moved here, already with a big coaching resume. All right. I've been coaching 21 years at that time, or 19 years. I've been playing for almost 30. I played overseas, NCAA. Did a cup of coffee at Hunter before I went to Marymount Manhattan. The only D3 team that got invited to like EIVA. And then you come here and they don't know you, and you got to kind of start over again. And as a New Yorker, we don't like the validation game. We don't care how much money you make. We don't care who you are. We don't care where you come from. So it's one of those things where someone gets a job over you, or someone, you're just trying to get in, and people like, that, I don't know that guy, whatever, and this and that, and all of a sudden you're like, hey, fuck this guy. This guy's what, 21 years old. I've done this longer than he's lived. Right. What are you even talking about?
Right.
Oh, you haven't done it here. I'm like, well, no, I won adult nationals 3 times, and that's United States teams, and like half the teams are from California. So if I'm a New York team and I set for a team that won nationals 3 times, I'm every bit as good as you guys. So now all of a sudden I'm validating myself, and now I've become what I despised. And now I've become what I despise. And at the first year here, I told Kelly, and I use this line because it's from Danny DeVito from Romancing the Stone. Mm-hmm. And I said, look, if you want to kill me, take me back to Brooklyn and kill me. All right, don't let me die here in the fucking desert sand like a snake. All right, put me under the Verrazano Bridge, give a tattoo on my head, let me die like a real man. All right, so it was one of those things where that level of depression set in because I cared so deeply about it. So my coping strategy is, when your passion or when your obsession becomes your career, you step away with something else. Mm-hmm. I sing karaoke twice a week. I haven't done a show since Conceal Her, but I'm still a performer by nature. That never leaves me.
What's your go-to karaoke song?
I don't have one.
What? You just change it up?
Miranda, tell her.
Damn. I've heard the Sweet Transvestite probably the most out of all of your performances. Mm-hmm. From when I've gone,
that's the first song I ever sang for karaoke, Sweet Transvestite, and it was New York.
That's a good one.
The host was like, okay, that was Jason. And the bartender was like, you don't have to pay for a fucking thing, man. Nice. It's a Scottish pub, the Parlor, on 86 and between Broadway and West End.
Where, in New York?
Yeah, a little Scotland pub, and that's where I went. It's Wednesday and Sunday. That's when they do karaoke.
So you find that, like, stepping away from your vocation kind of helps temper your over involvement emotionally.
Yes. And I would suggest to you that can and will work. I'm not saying my way is the only way, but anyone listening out there, if you do that, if you come back at this and you come back at your job from a different angle because you stepped away, mm-hmm. And eventually I'm going to get back into performing, because I had a guy named Drew Cannon who's doing a web series called Bad Boys Go to Rehab and this and that, and they're getting like 500,000 views like every 10-minute episode.
Yeah, you're a great actor.
So now I'm inspired. It's just something I want to do again, because like I said, volleyball is now my job. I'm a commentator. Mm-hmm. Eventually, and I'll finish this story. Eventually, something broke when I bought a camera. One of these cameras, in fact, and I went to the AVP events, the professional beach volleyball events, and I ingratiated myself on just the culture, because I played beach volleyball in Central Park, but I've used it as a cross trainer to help me prepare for indoor. And all of the guys prepared for the tournaments used me because I was an elite athlete. Yeah. That they, I was a good blocker or whatever, and they used me to help them prepare for tournaments. So that's my extent. I actually played in a tournament here, just whatever. I got a good partner.
Nice.
And then I started pointing a camera, and I started doing color commentary behind the camera. I put it on YouTube.
I like watching. So I like seeing it pop up.
My New York thing just took over, and Casey Jennings, who's Kerry Walsh's husband, she's mm-hmm. Kerry Walsh is the most popular beach volleyball player in the history of beach volleyball, men or women. You got Karch Karai, whatever, but I like her because her name transcends to people who don't watch the sport, and that's what I was talking. Yeah. That's what I was getting to as far as that whole interesting people thing is concerned.
Right.
People whose star power, whose intriguing nature seeps out of volleyball, and people that don't watch. Or maybe people that watch other sports, or even people that just watch indoor volleyball are interested in this beach volleyball.
Well, I mean, like growing up, I knew who Michelle Kwan was, and I didn't watch. What was it, figure skating?
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, right. Please.
Right? But I knew who she was.
Yeah, I know. Right.
I knew who Tanya Harding was.
Yeah, exactly. But these are names, albeit notorious or whatever, that move the needle for this sport, because they generate interest in people that don't watch the sport. Kobe Bryant. We can cover that later.
Right.
So it was. What happened was he watched one of my videos, and it was one of these videos where like I was getting heckled by guys behind me because I was kind of in their way, and then my girl lost her cool, and she never loses her cool, and they're like, oh, okay, all right, it's all right, and they're like, oh, go Yankees, and I turned around and said, why don't you yank these? And that's when it blew up. Everyone was like messaging me, yank these, hashtag yank these, and Casey was like, I love this guy's got fucking balls.
Nice.
So he took me to Vegas because Vegas had this big FIVB event as a test case to do color commentary, and I took a court and just started doing the same thing, and the next thing you know, I'm doing color commentary for Pepperdine's like home matches, and for the Big West Championship when Cal Poly played Hawaii. So I'm doing it for his company called P1440, which is a new. They have like close to $250,000 invested, and they have a contract with ESPN.
Fantastic.
So it's one of those things where the commentating side was good, and the coaching side, sooner or later, whoever gives me a shot, I plow through it with a tank.
Right.
I get an indoor shot with a club team that practices out of Redondo, and now I have a reputation. People know I can coach indoor. The group I was telling you, Endless Summer, I met that woman on the beach. She didn't know me from a can of paint, asked me if I had a resume. First day on the job, that's a whole nother story. Boom. So,
Isn't that interesting how that
next thing you know,
happens?
LMU, I'm the director of operations. I'm doing their operational stuff where I'm giving the coaches feedback on, basically, I just watch videos and I give them 4 things I like and 4 things I need to get better. So that was my job for like a whole year, for 12 months. So now I'm exactly, as far as hitting my stride, is where I want to be, but I still need to get the fuck away from it when things don't go right. Because look at me right now. This started as a volleyball podcast. This is my command center.
Look behind you.
Yeah, but you see what I'm getting at?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
there's no, my escapism becomes my career. That's what the term I wanted to use. My escapism became my career.
Right. And I feel like as an actor, that's incredibly relatable, because the thing you love doing the most in the world is also the thing that needs to make you money. And it's so hard to kind of extricate them from each other.
Yeah. And acting is very much like volleyball. Like the only way you can cope is just keep your nose in the work. You can't get into it to be a star. All right. Now listen, you're younger than me, but as far as performing, you've done enough to last 2 lifetimes.
Thanks. No one says that to me.
But you started at
That's
such
incredibly
a young age.
I mean, I started.
The show we did together, you were 18.
I was 18. Yeah.
Yeah, you're
Freshman year of college, I think.
We're doing out of school work. You
never hear that, because you always see people who started at like 6. You know what I mean? Like you always. I feel
but those
like
people,
as
their
an
careers
adult
are over
actor,
at 18. They don't start at 18.
or they're burnt out. I feel like as an adult actor, it's really easy to slip. Like if your guard is down, it's really easy to slip into feeling behind and like comparing yourself to everybody else's path, which gets you nowhere and just makes you miserable. So best to keep your guard up against that.
No,
well, especially because I was just talking with a friend of mine about how we both confessed to each other that we like really wanted to be child stars. And we both were like, oh my God, really? Like you wanted that too? It's so embarrassing. But like, yeah, when I was a kid, I would watch the Disney Channel and be like, I want to do that. That looks so fun. How come these kids get to do that and I don't? And then, in college, everybody seemed to sort of like just have their shit together more than me in terms of like what they were going to do with their career and like what type they were. And I was like, why does everybody else seem to like know how to do this and I don't? And then some people graduated college and like booked national tours right away. And it just, but
you're like, what's the password?
What's the password? Exactly.
What's
like,
the secret handshake?
Why am I so on the outside?
Yeah.
But the fact is, I just wasn't ready.
Yeah.
And we were just talking about this, my friend and I. And like now I'm very comfortable with that fact. And I'm like, oh my God, yeah, why was I so hard on myself? I just wasn't ready. Like I was just still developing as a human person and learning my craft and like processing some trauma. And like, I had things that I needed to do to get to a place where I was ready to step up to those plates. And now I kind of feel like I, have gotten to a place where I'm okay stepping up to those plates. And I'm comfortable, maybe not comfortable, but like it's still definitely nerve-wracking going into auditions, but I'm fine with it and I feel confident with what I bring to the table. But I mean, it took me until my late 20s to get to that point. And when I was younger, it was really easy to look at everybody else and be like, everyone else has a manual except for me. Like, I'm not meant to do this. It's just, and it got so personally, like, it felt like an indictment of me as a human being rather than just the fact that I was still developing at my craft. And I feel like it's It's that same thing where
say
you're
that
like,
to the guy who had to tear down and rebuild. You know, like the style of theater they teach at Marymount. And for those of you listening, we both went to the same school. We went to Marymount Manhattan, and at the time when I auditioned, they were actually ranked number 2 in the nation in theater performance. There was Juilliard and NUM. It's 1 and 2 for like a decade.
That's
yeah.
I mean, it's not. It's a good school, but like
the big difference was
that good.
the big difference between me and you, though, is I was 33.
Right.
When I went back, and those schools don't take returning adult students. Like, boy, you better go study political science or something.
I hate that, though.
Like the arts are
Such
not. I mean, the stereotype is the
Right.
art is not for people who allegedly, quote unquote, had their chance.
It's a young person's game.
Yeah, you had your chance. I didn't. Fuck you. I didn't have my chance.
How about I tell you when my chance is?
Yeah, thank you. You know what was I doing when I was 18? You know.
You were doing some serious shit.
I was in the military.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Which is experience you can then
but
bring to characters. And like,
well, that was more like 20. I joined the military at 20. For 2 years after high school, I served court papers. My mom worked for a law firm, Paul Weiss, and I just did messenger work for them.
Whoa, you serve people papers?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that must have been
enjoyed
interesting.
that so much.
Yeah, and just related messenger work, because this is not the internet and things. There are documents that it just had to get there, and original documents are very, very important. So
I feel like if I had to do that, I would go up to someone and be like, "Excuse me, you're getting a divorce," and then like run away.
Yep.
I'm sorry.
Please don't hurt me.
Is your name Carol? Your name Carol Danvers? Got bad news for you. Have a good day.
Sucks to be you right now.
Yeah. Well, the good thing is you don't have to tell them what the news is. You just have to make sure it's in their hand. You hold witness, and that's it. Yeah.
And do you have to say you've been served?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Sometimes. Yeah.
Did you ever sing it just for fun, just to break up the monotony?
God.
See, I feel like he'd just make a full-on character. What's that movie where the guy has all the different
but isn't you've been
outfits?
Yeah.
And he's. Do you know what I'm
talking
about?
you. Which one?
Wait, we're gonna figure this out.
Go ahead. What was it?
I have to figure. He does that, and he serves people papers, and so he's got like a bunch of different outfits in his car, like his FedEx outfit.
What?
And his like UPS outfit, and then he goes up. He's like, "Here you go." And
was this
he's
movie
like,
about you?
Served.
Are you making
that's
this
what
up?
I
can
swear.
promise.
I will need to do research to find that. If anybody
I think the whole time while we're talking, she's gonna be looking that up.
Yes, I'm gonna start
like making it really fast
shit.
in iMovie.
But we could definitely do that. Listen, there's nothing more consistent with musical theater than taking this dramatic moment and spoken word, and then when it becomes its most climatic, you start singing.
Yeah.
You know?
You sing when you're there's too much.
Yeah,
in you
it's like Alexandra. I've been waiting for this moment for a long, long time to tell you this. And then all of a sudden, we met yesterday.
We met yesterday. Have you seen that video of the girl on Twitter, and it's her doing like speaking into song moments? It's so funny.
What's her name?
Everybody out there has probably heard it because it went viral. I don't remember her name, but I can sing all of them to you because I watched that video 90 times because I thought it was so funny. It's so funny. Yeah, musical theater is weird.
It is.
Do you find that? Did you go to Marymount for musical theater or just theater arts?
Well, theater arts are the concentration in performance.
That's
but
what I did.
After I got in, like 2 days later, David Mould
Shout out to
me
David Mould.
and asked me if I wanted to be in the BFA program instead. And I was like, I don't know. I need, because I had a full-time job at the time. I was working in cardiology, and I knew by the third or fourth year the classes weren't an hour and 20 minutes. They were 2 hours.
Yeah.
And I think your senior year, they were 2.5 or whatever.
Yeah.
And I just couldn't. I'm a 9-to-5 guy, and I'm very blessed that it's across the street. It's on 70. I work on 72nd and Lex. I worked on 72nd and Lex, off-site from Wacono.
That's right
and
there,
it was on
where school
71st and 3rd. So I'm already blessed to just trip and fall and be here. So I could take an hour and a half lunch for the hour and 20-minute classes.
Damn, that's
right?
hustle.
And then
Good for
just
you.
instead of 9 to 5, work 9 to 5:30 and just make up the time that way. Which I had this nice agreement. Which, thank God, that's a moving part where everybody had to be on board, or going back to school just wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, it just
And
goes to show how
moreover,
much
just
depends
auditioning
on-
and getting into this fucking reality show called Marymount Manhattan. You know,
my God.
I didn't look when I auditioned. I didn't know how serious it was.
What did you do for your audition?
I did something from a monologue book, which you weren't supposed to do.
Ooh.
I used an accent, which you weren't supposed to
I
use.
did too.
Yeah. But the cool thing is I'm from Brooklyn, so me using the Brooklyn accent.
Oh, yours was a Brooklyn accent.
Yeah,
Mine was a real bad Southern one.
Like, Oh, it was?
Yeah.
Yeah, but
I still got in, so whatever.
but the whole pressure of like waiting for a month for this acceptance letter and rejection letter, I didn't have to go through. I auditioned Saturday and Monday. David called me.
Nice.
David called me and I was like,
Dude, that's
and
great.
I'm like, strangers should call me now. I happen to be in front of the school because I was dating a girl who was in the theater program who helped me prepare for my audition. Well, who didn't tell me about it. I got it from yeah, and I'm just going off. I'm like, she's got fucking biceps, triceps, you name it. The guy that's like making love to a samurai.
Was that your
warrior? Yeah.
Was that your monologue, or are you describing
that's
your
my
girlfriend?
monologue. Yeah, I'm
the
not
time?
kidding. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, do yourself a favor. You call Sheila, you tell her you're sorry, all right? Get back together, you stay married. It ain't worth it.
That's really
Take my
good.
word for it.
That's really good because it's not a story; it's a direct
Yes.
speech. Mine was a story.
Oh God.
I was 17 though. What did I know?
Yeah.
I
Well,
don't know.
well, in the 2-minute monologue, you can get 2 minutes. You can get a lot in. Like there is a story. He's like, I'm making it with this one broad, you know, and I'm in it. And she's like higher, no lower, harder, no softer, longer, no shorter. She drove me up the fucking wall. You know. I said, "Fuck you." I pulled up, put my pants on, and went home.
That's ballsy. I did one about a
They're
teen
cracking
mom.
up though. Everyone in the rooms, Elizabeth Swain was in there, and Brian Reinhardt, and they're just like, "Holy shit! Look at this guy."
I bet they never got to hear monologues like that from like squirmy 17-year-olds
No,
being
it
like,
was-
"Hello."
And the cool thing was, I'm still young. Like
This is my
they
Neil
knew,
Labute.
they knew I was a returning adult student, but what they didn't know I was fucking 33 years old. I'm one of these guys that like I'm 50 this
Yeah,
year.
you just told me that, and I was like, "I beg your pardon."
Yeah.
Qua?
So, yep. And like I said, we can both relate on being checked for ID all the time. You know, at that time. So, but shit.
They've
you were
stopped
saying
doing
something.
it. They've stopped doing it to me now.
Yeah. So you were at Marymount was musical theater a minor?
I did the musical theater minor. Yeah.
Okay.
And I went back and forth because when I went, you had to choose. You could either do the BFA in acting or you could do the BA and do the musical theater minor. Now
Which is what a lot of
do
people do.
both.
Oh, wow.
Which I'm a bit annoyed about, actually. That we couldn't do it when I was there. But I ended up choosing musical theater because I felt like I really needed the training in that. And I was correct. I definitely needed the training.
Good.
So
Who was that? Was that Pat?
Yeah, Pat Simon.
Pat Simon.
Pat Simon. She called me Newport. That was her nickname for me because I'm from Nantucket, which is a different place.
She didn't like me very much.
She's like, actually, I think she did like me.
Yeah. I'm sure come on.
No. I have a long history of pissing teachers off just by being myself. Like, I'm very
And at the end of the day, I think that's what makes them like you. No, but Alexandra, that's
some
what makes
really
them
like
make
me.
Yeah. Well,
Some see me and they're like, I get it. I get you. Same page. Like my drama teacher in high school, who was also my English teacher, he liked me. Like I had college teachers who like got me and liked me. Gordon Farrell.
Oh, of course.
Love that man.
Yeah. Real recognizes real. Gordon Farrell's real. Richard Niles. I had him my second year. Oh my God. Volcano meets a tornado.
Basil. Did you have John Basil?
No, I had David Moore my first year. And I had Richard Niles and then Liz Swain my third year. And then I switched back because I couldn't take the class.
Yeah.
You know, I couldn't take the class. And plus all this pressure being on probation and all this other stuff.
I forgot that for the BFA that happens.
Yeah.
For
just
BA that doesn't happen.
Yeah. Well, I only did BFA because David said it was easier to switch out than it was to change my mind and try to switch in. It just doesn't happen.
David Mold gave me good advice.
Yeah.
Because I didn't study acting with him. But I did study business of acting.
And that's
with
too
him.
bad because
anyone,
if you just take year one, you can do professional work. If you have that guy your first year, you could do professional work.
I believe it. Yeah. I mean, I really enjoyed him as an acting, business of acting teacher. But he told me.
What did he say?
He said he didn't think I was going to really work for like 10 years. And he didn't mean it in a way like I'm not good enough. He meant like assessing my type.
It's just going to take a long time.
Because I have a low voice. I have a large chest. I'm curvy. I'm tall. I take up space. I'm not an ingenue type, and I never have been. Even when I was a teenager, I was playing old ladies.
I thought all of those things were the reason you should be an actor.
Thank you.
Deep voice, Lauren Bacall.
Lauren Bacall. I love her. Okay,
I'll tell you a story about her.
She's one of the reasons.
I'll tell you a story about her later.
I want to hear.
She's a patient at my office. She said, "Fuck later. I want to hear the story now."
Shut up.
She was a patient at my office. My boss is the doctor of the stars. His name is Dr. Rosenfeld. So him, her, Sophia Loren, the late Walter Matthau, Ron Howard, Milos Forman, all of these people coming in and out.
Pardon?
All of these people coming in and out of the office. She's one of the people that inspired me to do theater. because
Bacall.
yeah, because everybody's
too.
look, everyone hears me doing the accents and I remember movies like from beginning to end. They're like, dude, why are you here? You're a fucking file clerk. Why are you here? You're the least paid person. You're the only guy in an office full of women. You know you're gonna get bullied. There's more of us. We don't fight fair. I talked to Lauren Bacall because she was waiting. She doesn't wait in the waiting room. She just kind of chills next to me. And she's like, what's that? This and that. I'll being all nosy. So I said, it's something I want to do. And she said in the rudest way you could ever imagine. She said, well, what else are you doing? Like, what else are you doing? And it bugged the fuck out of me. I'm like, I went home. I said, fuck that
fuck
bitch,
you,
man.
Lauren Bacall.
But then I said, and I sat there and I said, what else am I doing?
Yeah.
What else am I doing? So, at year 3, when I switched out, I took acting for the camera. Because the cool thing about being in the BA is you get to do whatever the fuck you want. You get to do professional work inside the academic year. The BFA, you can't. So,
Is that true?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. They won't let you do professional work inside the academic year.
Oh, yeah.
So, winter and summer, have at it. be fucking Mother Courage and her children with Meryl Streep.
No, now that I'm thinking about it, you weren't supposed to do it in the BA either, but I definitely did. So.
Well, David was very explicit because I was being asked to do a lot of commercials for Italian television. And Gordon Farrell, did the Red Room. So so here's the real story with Lauren Bacall. I got assigned to write a paper about her, and I wanted to use Key Largo with Humphrey Bogart and Edward G. Robinson as the profile, because it was the original good guy bad guy movie. Right, Die Hard. All of these good bad guy movies are based. It is the measuring stick in which they're all compared and what they want to. I guess take the idea and run. So basically, I had to do a research paper on her. So she comes in, and I want to ask her to do a 5-question interview. I want to use her as one of my sources. I'm doing a paper on her. She's here.
Yeah,
she's here. So check it out. She comes in, and what I do is I go through her medical records, and I look at every fucking drug she's on, and I go to the sample closet, and I just start fucking throwing everything in a bag, and I'm like, Betty, listen, Betty, because that's her name, Betty Joan Penske. That's her real name.
What?
Lauren Bacall is born Betty Jo Penske from Brooklyn, New York. Yeah.
I'm learning so much.
Yeah. That's why, hey, this is why we podcast, right? Don't hate the play, hate the game. So basically I said, listen, I'd like a 5-question interview. Maybe can I just fax them to you, and maybe you could just call me and we can talk and I can make notes. And she looks at me and she goes, you got any drugs?
And you did.
And I went,
you knew.
Shit. I went like, and I gave her the bag, and she's like, do you have any Allegra? I'm like, it's in there. She's like, Lipitor. I need Lipitor for my
Isn't Allegra an allergy drug?
Yeah, and I'm like, I need Lipitor. Lipitor is for for my cholesterol. I said, it's in there. And then she walks away and she comes back. She's like, do you have Nexium? I'm like, yeah, but you don't need that because you have the Allegra, but that's in the bag too. So, okay, all right, fine. Call me, fine, call me. So I'll call my assistant. So what happens, a week goes by. I fact check the questions, nothing. 10 days,
oh my
nothing.
God, if this ends in Lauren Bacall dying from an Allegra overdose, I'm going to scream.
No. Because she died around the same time Robin Williams died. So this is way after that.
Yeah.
She died almost same day. So I'm like, all right. I gave her my shot. And now I got to fucking work on this paper. Now I got to do some real work. So I hear this voice on the, they call me, like the receptionist, who's also the office manager, says, Jason, pick up for a second. So I pick up. She's like, listen, there's this guy on the phone that says, I only want to talk to someone that knows me. And I was like, sure. I'm like, cool. I'm like, how can I help you, sir? And she's like, it's Lauren Bacall.
Sir. Her voice is like,
it's Lauren. Yes.
Hello.
And she's like, I want to come for a B12 injection. That's why I called the receptionist. Can you just tell him I'm coming? And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, let me get you a spot. She's like, no, I'm coming.
If
I'm like,
you answer my question.
No, but she's like, she wouldn't take an appointment slot. She's, no, I'm just coming. So she comes, right?
It's Lauren Bacall.
When she comes, and I'm like, all right. Did her assistant give it to me? Or is she old? She don't remember shit. So what happens, she comes and she sits next to me And she pulls out the paper, the questions. And she's like, what's the most important thing I learned from Humphrey Bogart? Well, the audience is always one step ahead of you. You know, if someone points a camera if someone points a gun at your face, they already know you're afraid. You don't have to make faces. And that's what separates theater from and I'm just trying to fucking just like get paper. I'm just trying to write shit, right?
Yeah.
And it was such a great experience because she remembered. She just needed time to do it. And she came in for the B12 injection and she used that time. I'm not even sure, chicken or the egg on that, used that time to help me with my paper.
Wow.
And then she's like, I'm hungry. And I said, there's a coffee shop, Orange. The Orange Coffee Shop, which is next to Marymount.
Yeah.
So I go in there and I said, come with me. So I go in and we walk to Orange and I got this fucking megastar, this A-lister. This is all fucking true.
This is the best story.
All fucking confirmed by my office. All true. And we go to go to whatever, and I'm like, she wants a cookie. You right? Chocolate chip cookie? You want a chocolate chip cookie?
Get Lauren Bacall a cookie.
And people at work at Orange, a lot of them were in the theater program. And they're like, holy fucking shit, it's Lauren Bacall. And then my favorite part, and this is how the afternoon ends. She has a new driver. She has like a regular driver take her everywhere. And she's like, are you the new driver? He's like, yeah, go ahead, hop in. And she goes, how about you get the door, jackass?
Oh my God.
You know this. The whole time he's getting the door, she just hop in. She said, you know how old I am? I am a lady.
Scooch.
You know? And he's like, I'm sorry, ma'am. And she's like, I'll see you later to me. And she goes, hop in.
Honestly, that is the
great.
Lauren Bacall content that I want.
I get my paper back. A++. Bravo,
Yeah.
bravo. Kathy Haas was my she was in another 48 Hours and 48 Hours with Nick Nolte and Eddie Murphy. She's a bartender, so she was in multiple scenes in that, and she was the adjunct that was teaching.
Cool.
But that was my Lauren Bacall story. I did a similar thing with Anna Strasberg because she was also a patient. It's Lee's. I did do a paper on Harold Clurman for directing. And my understanding was Lee, her, and Harold were very close. In fact, so close, I found out later when she talked to me, they stayed in the same apartment. They had their own places, but they stayed in Lee's apartment for 10 years. Yeah.
Wow.
They were the group theater.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
For those of you at home, and I think I mentioned this when I had Drew Cannon on the show.
Those of you who don't have a conservatory degree.
Yeah.
Including us. We
Clifford
went to liberal
Odets,
school.
Phoebe Brand, Sanford Meisner. Lee Strasberg. Just this group of absolute savages get together for a decade that affect the way styles and techniques that dictate that many of us the way we perform.
Absolutely. Modern theater.
Cool. You got a fun actor story?
Do I have a fun actor story? You mean like a meeting an actor story?
Yeah.
I have several.
First one that came to your mind.
Angela Lansbury stole my cell phone.
Woo!
This is a call out. Angela, you give my pink razor back.
Oh my God. All of a sudden I have that Video Kill the Radio Star song except her words. Angela stole my fucking cell phone.
She didn't mean to, and she probably had it blown up by security once she found it. Because she probably thought I was trying to stalk her or something. So she did I must have been it must have been more than 10 years ago. I was in high school. Mm-hmm. And she did Blithe Spirit on Broadway with Rupert Everett and Jane Atkinson.
Okay.
And some other people, and I've blanked on who else. But Angela Lansbury was 84 and was up there just being Madame Thingamy. I'm so tired. And I went because Angela Lansbury is one of the people who made me want to be an actor. And so I went to the Port Authority flower shop and I got her a bouquet of daisies because it was all I could afford. And my mom and I went to see the play, and it was the first preview, and I was sitting with the daisies sort of in my between my knees in the seat, and it was amazing. And it was the first preview, so we went to Stage Door, and Angela Lansbury actually came out, which I don't think she often did, but because it was first preview, she came out. And I had a whole speech prepared. I was going to be like, Miss Lansbury, I loved you in The Court Jester. I love you in everything. I loved you in Gaslight. I think you're amazing. This is why I'm an actor, and blah, blah, blah. And she came out, and I just burst into tears. I just was like bad, like ugly crying, couldn't get my shit together, holding these daisies, just like, and she like walked past me because she didn't see me because I was just like, and then my mom like got her attention. And she was like, oh, I'm sorry. And she came over and she was like, are these for me? And I was like, yeah. And she was like, oh, this is my grandson. And she introduced me to her grandson. I was like, hi. I couldn't get my shit together. I was just like crying.
My God.
And
you start talking like baby talk because
I couldn't get
crying, you can't
any
get a
words
sentence
out. Nothing.
Yeah.
And she touched my cheek and she said, oh, you're precious.
Oh.
And I was like, thank you. And so she took the daisies, got in the car. Everybody dissipated. I calmed down. And then I was like, where's my phone? And it was a pink Razor. And I didn't have a purse. All I had was that bouquet of daisies. And we went back in that theater and we had like ushers looking. We tore that place apart. It was nowhere. The only place that cell phone could have ended up was in the bouquet.
in the bouquet.
So I think that she probably thinks I was like trying to blow her up or something. Like she just gets the daisies out and she's like, what the?
Yeah, she's like, that's gratitude for you.
Yeah.
I tried to be nice to her.
And she tries to get my address on her cellular device.
She could probably tell you were visibly not in
Not
a mental
stable?
state
Yeah.
that was able to process
Do you know
those things.
The cool thing is, I think being in this world, we're always gonna have stories like that, and the only reason why I have or almost as many was because of the guy I worked for. These people were in and out all the time, and,
Right,
and the
yeah.
stories I tell, like he wasn't just a cardiologist. He was a guy who was already a millionaire from writing books. So his medical decisions of who he supported, who he backed, didn't come from who was
He got to be
who
very
was giving
discerning.
him cheddar cheese.
Right.
It came from a real place. He wrote a book called Roosevelt's Guide to Alternative Medicine. Why the fuck would an
wow.
MD want to do that?
I don't know.
You
That's
know,
a good
why would
question.
you want to do that when Lipitor and Norvasc or
Right,
like
right.
Pfizer and these groups are giving you money to speak at their events to talk about their way of healing yourself. So, but through him, I got to meet Bill Clinton. He got American Heart Association's Physician of the Year award, and that was at the Waldorf. So he invited me and the office manager and two other people. And the office manager was trying to get me fired. And the night of the awards, she was all dressed up, and they were like, Tom Chasson needs, Wild Cornell wants to talk to you. And she went to see him, never came back. So they got rid of her. And I ended up just going he got me a tux. I went to Bergdorf Goodman.
Wow.
And the driver took me to Bergdorf Goodman to get me fitted for a tux because they thought it was him. They had fucking models and all this shit, and they're like, "Oh my god, it's just this dude." Forget his ass. The models went home and they're like, "Let me just fit you on." So that it was the only time they've ever given out that award. So
Wow.
you have him. He was himself in A Beautiful Mind. Dr. Rosenfeld, because he knew
No.
Dr. Nash. So he got to be in the movie. Also, our patient.
I love it when people play themselves in biopics.
Yeah.
Like Oscar Levant
Yep.
in George Gershwin's biopic
Yeah.
played himself.
But when you're
that must have been so weird.
But when you're old, you're more timeless. You get to do it.
Yeah.
You know, like if you had white hair, like let's say you're Bernie Sanders, right?
Let's just say I'm Bernie Sanders.
Yeah, but listen, all people have a right to whatever. So listen, he had white hair in the fucking 80s, right?
Right.
So he can play himself
Yeah.
in a certain movie because he still has white hair, and that it's like your high school science teacher. You get a little bit older or whatever, you go back to school at a reunion, that motherfucker still looks the
Looks
same.
exactly the same, yeah.
So he played himself, and it also helped that Ron Howard was the director, who's also our patient.
Right. Right.
He played himself in Man on the Moon, the Andy Kaufman story, because he knew Andy Kaufman.
You're kidding.
And he's in that as himself.
Wow.
And that also helps because the director Milos Forman was also our patient.
Who directed
Milos Forman?
Amadeus,
Yeah,
my
I was
favorite
just gonna
movie.
say.
Actually, it's
for
not
those
my
of you
favorite
that
movie,
don't know,
but it's
that's
up there.
Amadeus. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
That's right. Yeah.
People versus Larry Flint. This man at the time only directed 8 films, and all of them were fucking savage.
Yeah, that's
You
the
know?
crazy thing about that guy.
Yeah, he doesn't. He swing. He doesn't.
Like Midas.
Yeah.
Just, yeah.
Yeah, he should play baseball because his average is his average is going to be better than everybody else's.
So you met Bill Clinton that night?
I did.
Was he okay? So my dad met Bill Clinton. He said that he was like the most charismatic, just so like makes you feel like you're the most special person in the whole world.
Not just that. I think the light that radiates, and I'm speaking metaphorically, the light that radiates behind him.
So nobody's following him with a ring light.
Makes I mean, that's if you're doing a film, that's what you got to do, right?
Right.
But everyone follows like birds to fucking bread. It's just like, and you know how like birds just mindlessly they know where the bread is, and he'll move here, and then the whole flock will just move with him. He'll move there.
So interesting.
And I didn't get to talk to him or anything, but he was at the party, and I did meet him.
You didn't hug or
Terry Hamlish was there. Who was famous for doing all these like a Victor Borge style impressions. Like he'll take these classical songs and put them in Happy Birthday.
Cool.
Like Moonlight Sonata.
Yeah.
You know, la 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 la.
Do that for the rest of
la la la. Like you know that eerie. He turned Happy Birthday into that eerie Moonlight Sonata, haunting, romantic, fucking awesome.
What a great guy to book for a party.
Yeah. Well, I was just like, all right, you ain't getting points for originality because I grew up worshiping Victor Borge, who is the Great Dane, the musical comedian who, he's a story for a whole nother podcast, and how he got to America. He's on the SS Legion, the last boat to leave before the Nazi invasion.
Oh, geez.
He's also blacklisted by Adolf Hitler because
it's a nice place to be.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Right.
Oh my God.
Wait, that guy doesn't like you?
I just saw Jojo Rabbit, and I feel like a lot of things. Speaking of Hitler.
Talk to me about Jojo Rabbit. Wait, anyone that didn't see it that wants to see it, 3, 2, 1, tough shit. Go ahead.
The war ends. Spoiler alert.
Yes.
Man, it like messed me up a little. I'm an extremely sensitive person. Like there's a reason I'm an actor, and one of them is that I am like very suggestible and very easily manipulated by storytelling. So like I can just jump into circumstances and be like, this is so sad. But I saw Jojo Rabbit this week. I saw Parasite this week.
I saw the trailer on your thing.
I don't even know what to say about Parasite.
Fucking mind-blowing, dude.
You saw it, right?
I just saw the trailer.
You have no idea.
Where can I find the whole movie?
Well, I was lucky.
It came out in 2019. So
my subletter bought it on iTunes on my account and then Venmo'd me the money. And then I was like, oh, so I own Parasite. Cool.
Is it available on iTunes, though?
Yeah. I watched it at home.
I'll just watch it then.
But I saw Jojo Rabbit in the theaters because my friends and I went to a screening at Warner Brothers. They do this thing where it's like free screenings a couple months in advance to kind of they give you a survey and it was for this thing called Scoob.
Right.
I can't say exclamation point. You can't say it any other way than like Scoob. And I guess it's like Scooby-Doo's origin story, which people asked for, I guess. And so we went to see that. And we were standing in line, having a great time, and this guy came down the line and was like, how old are you guys? And I was like, 28, 29, 27. And he's like, I'm going to come back to you. He went down the line and we were like, that was weird. And then we hear somebody go, all right, everybody with wristbands, come forward. Everybody who doesn't have wristbands, wait there for a second. And we were like, and then we watched everybody else in the line go into the theater. And we were like, wait a minute. Wait, what? And this woman came up and she was like, so here's the thing. And I made a joke and I was like, is it because we're old? Are you going to put us in like a room with some Pinot Grigio and like let us watch it by ourselves? And she was like, yes and no. She was like, we're going to give you these AMC coupons. Go see a movie somewhere. We don't have room and you guys are the only all-adult group here. We were the only grown-ups who had gone to this movie.
You forgot to grab a child?
We forgot to just like grab one on the street, I guess. And so we got asked politely, very nice. She was really nice about it and had a sense of humor about it. But we were asked to leave because we were too old. So we were like, we were going to be defiant. We were going to go see Frozen 2 with those coupons. And then we couldn't because all the tickets were sold out because it was a Sunday afternoon and there were children. So we were like, damn. So we went to see Jojo Rabbit instead. And I'm very glad that we did. It was so good. And everybody, I'd heard people criticizing it being like, it makes the war look too fun.
Yeah. Well,
It does not make the war look fun,
well,
like at all.
look, there's something called movie reviews, and there's something called Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah.
And I believe because the respect that I put in, all the hard work I put in as a adult student. Do whatever the fuck you want, and if you don't like it, don't watch it. And don't watch it. Don't be disgusted. And don't think a movie shouldn't exist just because you don't agree with it. You
Right.
know?
I mean, like I'm all for criticizing.
Like Christian Bale and Dick Cheney. Do you know? I mean, I got a lot of
my
blowback
gosh.
from the right.
Why?
Because it was
was
What
true.
did they think we were
Movie.
going to say about Dick Cheney?
Because
Are
it
you
was
kidding
true.
me?
Yeah.
Because it was true, right?
Yeah.
Remember when he shot his friend in the face?
And that guy apologized,
I was
and he
watching-
apologized.
And he,
The guy who
got shot.
Miranda,
in
the
face
guy who got shot,
apologized.
he's like, you know what? Shit, my
Oh my
bad.
god. We were watching last night we started watching I took like a night in. I was having like a rough mental health day yesterday, so I was like, I'm just going to like take a day and just like watch a movie and just like not talk to anybody. And so one of the girls that I was staying with was watching with me, and I put on The Report because
Yeah.
it's on Amazon.
Right.
I was like, ooh, Oscar contender, like this will be fun.
Oh, the report's on Amazon?
Yeah, huh?
Okay.
Do you know what it's about?
No.
It's about torture during the Iraq War, which
Well-
is not a great thing to
Well,
watch when
we
you're having
tortured
a
some folks.
bad mental health day. We didn't get through it. We got as far as the rectal rehydration scene, and we were like, "I'm tapping out. I'm going to watch The Office. I can't. I can't." But this girl that I was watching with was 20, and there was an interview with Dick Cheney in the movie, and she was like, "Who's that?" And I was like, "That's Dick Cheney." And she was like, "Who's Dick Cheney?" And I was like,
Lose my
you're
num-
so lucky
lose my
that you
number.
don't know. Like,
Yeah.
I was like, wow. And because we started talking, and she was born like a year before September 11th. I mean, it makes sense.
Right.
And I was like, how do I explain Dick Cheney? And one of the first things I brought up was, I was like, well, he shot his friend in the face, and the friend apologized.
Oh my
That's a good way to
God.
ease you in. But he's a criminal mastermind.
Pretty much.
That's ridiculous. That's like fucking wrong hole, and she says sorry. You know, it's just bad.
I'm just processing what you just said
I
for a
know.
second.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give it a minute.
It's exactly like that.
Yes.
That's an
Get
excellent
shot
way
in
to
the
put it.
face,
And they'd be like,
and they
sorry.
apologize.
Was I in the way?
God, wasting all your sorry.
Brain matter. Good.
Oh,
Yeah, but
man. How did we get on Dick Cheney? Oh, Vice.
yeah,
I didn't see it.
a great performance.
no?
I know. I want to see. It's on my.
And
list
I liked
for
it
sure.
because the whole point of Christian Bale is some movies he's not supposed to look like he's Christian Bale. You know, he's one of these actors that survived playing a good superhero. And when I say survive playing a good superhero, sometimes you're so good and people only remember you by that person. Your career's over.
Is he your Batman? Everybody has a Batman.
Keaton.
That's mine.
Keaton's my Batman. Yeah.
Not a Batman.
She's like, make mine Marvel.
I like the Joker.
She's
I
like,
like the Joker.
my Batman.
She's like, make
is
mine
Iron
Marvel.
Man.
Make mine
Yeah.
Marvel. Yeah.
Make mine Marvel.
Yeah. Well, I'm a Marvel guy, but I'm also a performer, so I'm always gonna watch people do that
Yeah,
thing.
I love the Tim Burton Batmans. I
yeah.
just watched Batman Returns. That's the one with
Oh,
Catwoman, isn't it?
With Michelle Pfeiffer.
Whose performance in that movie is a masterclass.
Yes.
She's incredible. But I watched that with some friends. We were doing Christmas movies. It's a Christmas movie. And we were watching it, and we were just like, this is like an art house movie. This kind of superhero movie would never be made today. And it's such a shame because it's so interesting. Like,
Yeah.
I don't agree with Martin Scorsese that like all superhero movies are just theme park rides, although I got what he was saying.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe how much attention the media spent on that.
On that
I was
quote,
like, so
yeah.
somebody said a thing, it's fine. Like, relax.
Yeah. So what?
But I do think it would be really interesting if we're going to keep creating just constant superhero content, if there was a little diversity in genre or in
Yeah.
medium.
I thought Logan did a good job with that.
Logan was really good.
I didn't see it.
Logan, Martin Scorsese didn't see it either, obviously.
Yeah.
Like, 'cause-
No, I heard it was
'cause
amazing.
You ain't in no fucking theme park
And I
in
love
that
X-Men.
movie, man.
I mean-
That was gritty, dude. That was gritty. It was
Now, did you see Joker? Did you?
Yes.
I
that
have
was
not
dark
seen it
dark
yet.
as fuck, dude.
What?
I didn't go see it on purpose.
You have to see it because of the line of work you're in, but
I know.
but not for everybody.
No, I really want to see it. I was so turned off by like stories from Joaquin Phoenix on set being like unprofessional, and then like the director being like, you can't say anything funny anymore. I'm like, well, John Mulaney manages to, so like I feel like maybe you can.
Yeah, I think it depends on who says it too.
Right.
Like Chris Rock, says a lot of stuff.
Yeah, it absolutely.
That was only funny 10 years ago, but it's still funny because he says it.
Right. Yeah.
Joe Rogan has fucking South Park diplomatic immunity. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because he's a comedian, and you and we both know more than anybody. You have to, and I talked to Drew about this. You have to let people work. You have to let artists work.
Sure.
Have them put out something, and if it doesn't work, okay, all right, we're gonna go another route. That wasn't funny. And like you said, don't be butthurt. Oh, nobody laughed at me. Wah.
Well, don't make it suddenly a political
right.
Suddenly you're a political like figurehead because you said something hurtful to a group of people, and everybody said, "Hey, that's hurtful. Please don't say that." Like, there's a way to respond, and then there's a way not to respond.
Yeah, and that's the point I was trying to make.
Yeah.
You got to let artists work, And Joe, I mean, his podcast gets a lot of blowback or whatever, and this and that, but he's an artist that's working. And it's always surrounded by who his guest is. Joe is never the fucking culprit and never the controversial person, but as much as the person he invites is. Like, I'll give you an example. They made the illogical leap that he's against transgender people.
Well, he did say some stuff.
He's a comedian.
That doesn't mean you get to say whatever you want with any social consequence.
Well, there is a social consequence, and that's happening now.
If you say something that's hurtful,
but on a serious level, and most of the people that have a problem with him didn't even listen to the whole podcast anyway.
Right.
So the context gets mixed up, and whether you disagree with him or not, I would actually appreciate if people actually listen to the whole fucking thing.
Like I took issue with him saying
he's a mixed martial arts commentator. Mm-hmm. Now I want you to picture in your head.
And didn't he do Fear Factor?
Yes.
Yeah.
But for a long time,
right? Which came up on The Office last night that I put on instead of the report.
No, but I want you to appreciate women's equality, which I'm raised by women and this and that I'm all for. But I want you to appreciate a woman who makes a transgender operation, a man that makes a transgender to a woman, and then now he's a she, okay, and that's the most politically correct way I know how to say it, and then allow me to work here, and then they have a sport called mixed martial arts, where body mass, width, whatever, this is a man competing in a woman's division at 135 pounds, just starching people, just fucking laying people out.
Right.
And Joe basically said, listen, this person's a transgender fighter fighting in a women's division. Let's have a debate. That is, I do not make the illogical leap that he has a fear of transgender people because there is someone that can bash your face in, dismember you indefinitely. And I mean, the day someone ever dies in fucking MMA, man, you're in an MMA match. It hasn't happened yet.
Hasn't it? I thought that happened last year.
Well, it happened.
Didn't somebody get hit there, like a young kid?
Yeah.
Didn't that happen?
But that I'm talking about like the major promotions, the UFC, Bellator, One Championship, which is very big in Korea, which is global, like everywhere in the United States. That's their number one product. Where here the UFC is, and Joe just said that, hey, let's have a conversation. Let's have a conversation. Let's talk about what people are thinking in their minds.
Right.
That I'm daring to say out loud.
Right.
That people might, that I'm Joe's thick skin. He's ready for the blowback.
Sure.
And that was the premise of the conversation that a lot of people misinterpreted.
Right. I think it's totally fair to, when you're dealing with something that's new, conversations have to be had. And people slip up. Like, I know that, like,
and he's a comedian.
People who aren't used to gender neutral pronouns or something, like it's an adjustment. It takes time, and it's okay to have slip ups, and it's okay to have blind spots as long as you address them. Like that's all okay.
Yeah.
I remember seeing a clip of Joe Rogan saying that he thought that like a lot of homosexuality came from childhood abuse, and I was like, what? Like, where did that come from, sir? And
I wonder who was his guest when he said it.
It was it was a KKK Grand Wizard.
That guy?
It was like a white supremacist leader who why was he having him on his show?
Because Joe Rogan talks to everybody. He has Jamie Foxx.
Yeah.
Right? Who's everyone loves. He has Ted Nugent that a lot of people don't like.
Oh, yeah,
He had
that guy.
Roseanne Barr like a month after he got fired. Found out, telling her side of the story, found out she was in a mental institution for 6 years.
Yeah.
And her acute sense of humor that made her Roseanne came from that.
Right,
So
yeah.
it's one of those things where I like him because we can't just decide to make a group and say I'm not talking to that person. I'm not talking to that person.
Right.
Except the Grand Wizard type people.
I was going to say,
that kind of person.
once you get into like Nazism,
No, but that kind of person.
you have to figure out where the line is.
No, but that kind of person, you're not on my fucking team.
Right.
All right. But if it's someone like him that's pro-white and not necessarily anti-black, I don't see how he's different from like a black Nation of Israelite people that think white people are from the devil.
No,
All right,
the KKK guy was definitely anti-black.
Yeah. But we have to understand these people too.
Yeah, I agree, and that's why I love. Oh God, what's his name?
I'm mixed. You
do
know,
you
my
remember
mom's
that guy?
black.
Right, I know.
My mom's black and my father's
Yeah.
Irish, Swedish, whatever. You know.
Do you remember that guy? I think his name is Christian Nicoli.
Okay.
You know who I'm talking about? He was a former KKK member. He was like a former white supremacist, and he left, and now he dedicates his life to like deprogramming, basically, and like helping people like undo hate lessons.
Good, because
and I'm like,
that is a lot of
man
fucking
is doing
energy,
the
dude.
good work. Like,
Yeah.
I totally agree that like you can't just shut these people out entirely because, I mean,
Yeah.
it might be
Because-
more effective to find ways to change their minds.
Yeah.
I just don't know necessarily how to do that. Like,
And maybe he doesn't either. Maybe
Yeah.
his idea of having him on the show was the
Yeah.
best idea. And maybe retrospectively, like he's got friends. All of his friends are comedians because
Right.
that's how he started. And MMA
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah.
Maybe like Brendan Schaub, who's like the raunchiest fucking podcast you ever
Right.
met in your life. You can go suck a dick, and he's the one that's like, oh my God, this trend is to do with the starching bitches. That's just how he talks. And that's offensive to some people. And for those people, I'm not going to tell Brendan don't talk. I'm going to tell you motherfuckers don't listen. Okay. But
can I ask a question about that though?
yeah.
Do you, when do you believe people should be held accountable for cruelty? Like if you say something hurtful to somebody, when does it become something that they have to take responsibility for as being hurtful?
I hold the line when somebody cites someone specifically, and a group where the hatred is so believable and so hurtful.
So it's about like intention.
Yeah, like I'll give you an example. Eddie Murphy when he did Delirious, right?
Uh-huh.
He had 3 days to prepare. John Belushi killed himself. Fucking drug overdose. He had to super sub, and he gets on the stage, and all he's doing is moving around. And he says something like to the degree like faggots ain't allowed to look at my ass while I'm on stage.
Yeah.
He said that's why I keep moving around.
But he's looked back at that and said that was a stupid thing for me to say. I'm really sorry.
No, it isn't. And yes, it is. Sorry,
Yeah.
yes, it is. But Eddie Murphy Raw. He brought it back.
Right.
He said, I had a problem. He says, gay people were coming after me. He said, I was in San Francisco. He said, they were like, pull over. And he like imitated like his
Right.
favorite gay people. And the approach was on a level that other gay people were like, oh my God, this dude's a fucking clown. And I love him for it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it didn't come, I draw the line where it comes from a place where it drives fear and hatred and ridicule, where someone thinks there's this false embracement of hierarchy that because I'm straight and you're gay, I'm a better person. So anybody that puts themselves in that situation, I mean, that's racism, right? Racism is in the classic
bigotry
sense
in
of the
general.
word.
I mean, that's-
no, but racism
yeah.
in the classic sense of the word is the inherent belief that you're superior or
Right.
inferior.
Power dynamics.
That someone is superior or inferior based on their race.
Yeah.
So I draw the line when someone, and the context and how it's used is to make themselves, to make one look more superior or better than the other. That's when I'm like, all right, I'm out. Check me out on that. And I don't think Joe Rogan has done that with the KKK guy.
Right.
In fact, the KKK guy, he says, I don't want to start from up here or down here. I want to start right here. And whatever comes out of your mouth, if I'm down here now
Right.
and I'm done, because Joe has been very, very explicit about how he feels about racism.
Yeah.
He was very explicit, like about, remember when
Bill Maher.
No, but remember, Bill Maher got all butthurt at the end. We're going to talk about that.
He's,
His ego. He got crushed by his giant ego.
Okay.
Because he said, you should come on the show. And Joe's
dad
and Joe
loves
basically, he invited him on the show, like Bill Maher's show. And Joe basically said, thanks, but no thanks. He says, it's a panel where everyone's yelling over each other. And I can't even take that from my own friends.
I can't watch that show.
Yeah. No, but basically, anyway. Joe, if you remember people trying to cross the border, they're yanking kids away from each other. Mm-hmm. Joe believes in border protection. Okay, but he's explicit. If you're taking kids from your parents, you're not on my fucking team.
No.
He says I think
basically
what he's trying to say is there a place where we can have a degree of conversation, but at the same time it has to come from a place where we can function like mammals. And there's some things where he just cuts off. If you're taking kids from their parents, I'm not having that conversation with you. There's nothing you can fucking say. So he does have his limits, and where he doesn't, he embraces his flaws, and he'll invite someone on the show.
Right.
He had Gary Johnson. He had Tulsi Gabbard, who I'm voting for, by the way, because...
What?
Yeah.
You are?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Well, and you know why it's interesting to me? Because I'm not a Democrat.
I thought you were voting for Bernie Sanders.
Well, I am, if he wins. If he wins a nomination, I will.
I see. But in the primaries, you're voting for
because if you look at their policies, they're very like-minded.
Yeah, they are.
Bernie's very anti-war. Bernie's been anti-war before the word anti-war was used, okay?
I did that New York Times thing, and it told me that I most aligned with Tom Steyer.
Yeah. You know why? Because...
I literally went, wait, who?
Well, if you look at the way they cover Bernie and the way they cover Tulsi.
Right.
In fact, the New York Times reporter called her a toady on Joe Rogan's show, and Joe Rogan's like, what's a toady?
What is a toady?
I don't fucking know. You want to pull that shit up?
Toady.
Is it like
pull up Joe Rogan on YouTube.
Thing?
Pull up Joe Rogan, a New York Times reporter. She had this complete meltdown because Joe Rogan kept asking her what a toady meant, and she's like, "Well, look it up." I don't. She was just looking for ways to attack her. This is why I'm voting for Tulsi, and it surprised a lot of people because I'm not a Democrat. I'm
What do you?
No party preference.
Okay.
I was registered independent. Then I registered Democrat actually in 2016 to vote for Bernie in the primaries, and then after. It got leaked. They call it a hack. It wasn't a hack. It was a leak. After all that shit went down, I was like, I still lean left. I still think a woman has a right to her body. I believe in some kind of gun legislation. I believe, give me anything left. Give me anything left right now, and I'm like, I'm down.
Taking
Just
care
go.
of poor people.
Yes.
Education.
Reading difficult literature, caring about your fellow man, even sharing.
Christmas. I was just thinking about this, about how Christmas is like the most liberal holiday ever.
Yeah. And it's crazy
but
because...
Fox News is like, we own Christmas.
Well,
I'm like, Christmas isn't... Like, have you seen It's a Wonderful Life? That shit is socialist as fuck.
It's an overwhelming contradiction because they like to celebrate a socialist Jew every December 25th, but have one running for office, all right? With that being said. So... I am very much in the middle because if you've ever seen me on Facebook, I get blowback from my friends on the left because I have
We've argued. Yeah, absolutely.
Healthily though.
My
God. But I love our passion is fucking, our passion makes it, everyone looking on the outside looking in, it's like, okay.
Yeah.
They're going to unfriend each other.
No,
but here's, okay, so I'm a left-leaning, no party preference guy. Now, the problem I have with Democrats is they're looking for someone who has foreign policy experience. Boom, check. She's on the committee for foreign affairs and on the armed services committee, which made her visit fucking Assad because she wanted to know. She wanted a fact-finding mission, and then Assad yanked her up and said, "Do you want to talk?" She's like, "Okay, let's talk." So, looking for a strong woman, check. Looking for a candidate of color, check. Looking for someone who's a lifelong Democrat that never crossed over. Even now, when she has every fucking reason in the world to cross over because she's abandoned by her own party, check. She's said 100 times she's not going to run under the third. It's this or that. So she's someone 16 years and whatever. Global warming is her second biggest platform.
Right. What's her biggest?
Anti-war, anti-regime changing, regime changing wars, anti-regime changing wars.
Gotcha.
We're spending too much money on military spending, and not just sending our soldiers there, but private contractors.
Right.
Like a lot of money where a lot of people don't know. We're paying private contractors 4 times the salary than what a soldier would make anyway. So we're spending more on mercenaries, just as much on mercenaries as we are, or whatever. So, and she knows because she's on the. She's on the armed services committee. They approve the budget and all that shit, so I like her because climate change is a real thing. I served in the military. I don't want any of my relatives getting their legs shot off while some assholes is on TV playing golf.
Right.
All right?
Yeah.
Or on fucking Letterman. No, I'm not having it. Healthcare. It's a very big thing. Dental care.
Huge.
Dental care for the
Huge.
elderly, which everyone laughs at because old people on no teeth is like a funny thing. So she
bad
is,
dental care can
yeah.
kill you real fast.
So here's the thing that happens in the Republican Democrat Party when someone's running their campaign. She was corporate money as a congresswoman, but because of the way Bernie ran and the way Bernie showed how much it was possible, it's all grassroots. It's all fucking $15, $20 donations. So basically, what happened to her in 2016 during the whole thing with him and Hillary, she got up and she was the DNC vice chair at the time. Her star was on the rise. They loved her. She was their darling. Good looking, military, actually pretty hot too. She was a little bit of a smoke show.
She's definitely hot.
So what she does is she goes up and endorses Bernie, and it's been hell to pay ever since. And so now all of a sudden she's an Assad apologist, where all of a sudden we don't talk to our enemies, where the only other option is war. Where the only other option, because you and me disagree on something, I'm gonna send my people, you're gonna send their people, and we're gonna fucking kill each other because you and me decided we ain't gonna talk. How fucking insane is that? So and then of course Russian plant, which I don't see the logic behind that because it has to be consistent on things what Putin likes, and she doesn't. She's anti-war, and she's healthcare for all. She's a mini Bernie, actually. She's a Bernie that served in the military. That's what she is right now. So she's part of this cult religion and this and that, or her parents this and that. And I'm just like, how much of this shit is actually true? Where do you get your fucking sources? Where do you get your information from? But this is what's going to happen to Bernie, because right now if you look at all the polls, he's
I don't
first.
look at the polls anymore.
Yeah. You know why? Because they're telephone.
Right.
Right. You can vote, and they're gonna be like, oh my God, we were wrong about that. They were wrong about 2016, weren't they? Maybe not on the total vote. I mean, don't get me wrong. She technically got more votes.
I'm honestly way more unplugged this time around. I've always been very politically involved. Always.
You can become sick.
Once I just got so tired because and I know this is what like the bad guys are counting on, is people being like, I just fucking can't anymore. But like, I started getting so emotionally.
She knows,
right?
Yeah.
I like stopped getting in debates with people. I stopped watching the news. Like I read the news, but I won't watch it
Do you
anymore.
become sick from it a little bit?
Just
exhausted or mentally drained.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
I'm a very sensitive person, and there was this one time in school, in elementary school, I started crying so hard that my mom had to come get me, and it was like when I met Angela Lansbury, I was like, and I couldn't get out why I was upset, and why I was upset was because these two kids, I remember exactly who they were. I'm not going to name names because they're perfectly nice people now, but these two kids were being mean to other kids in class, and they weren't even being mean to me.
Yeah.
But it just hurt my feelings so bad that like.
Because that's how plugged in you are.
I was just really, really sensitive, and I just couldn't stop crying. And my mom was like, what, did somebody like bully you? And I was just like, I kept saying, they're not following the rules. And she was like of a game. And I was trying to explain to her, I was like, they're not acting like people are supposed to act like. And it just made me very upset. And so that's one of the reasons I got so passionate about politics. But like when I was younger, I just had more energy about it.
Yeah.
And as I've gotten older and as I've gotten more I think I've gotten more sensitive, to be honest.
Well, I think the reason why you've done so well when you were younger, because it's a bullying thing, and that's something that can be fixed. Right. Willful ignorance. I'll just call it stupidity, because stupidity to me is protected ignorance. Ignorance is, okay, you didn't know any better. You and me, we're going to debate on stuff, and there are a lot of times I'll read back and I'm like, you know what? Fuck, she was right. I didn't know that.
Right.
You know, and there's some.
Can we talk about the beautiful maturity that is realizing you said something wrong or somebody else was right, and you can like acknowledge it and say it out loud? That's amazing. That's so amazing. Mature and cool.
Oh, you got the toady thing?
I don't know.
What's a toady?
It's not.
This is the New York Times reporter.
This is her.
There she is.
Yeah, you can pull it up.
But it won't play. I don't know which part it'll be.
It's in the beginning.
I think I have the same glasses
whole
as her.
podcast?
Not the whole podcast. Oh, you got the whole podcast?
No, this is
Oh,
just
never mind. It's a clip.
Yeah. I'm not sure.
That's
never
okay.
know.
We'll let it play for like 10 seconds and then we'll go. But people will know where to get the podcast if they see
Bland
her
wrote
name
this
or whatever
letter to the New
missing
York Times where she calls me.
That's what she's talking about right
out.
now.
But it's on the feed, right?
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
I like her glasses.
All right, cool. That's enough. So the reason and the difference is like the anti-bullying thing you can do because there's an end
Sure.
game. There's an end game
Yeah.
when it comes to certain groups of people. But stupidity, which is protected ignorance, is exhausting because you've
Yeah.
armed someone with logic and sense and we'll just say opinions that are generated by historical fact, and they're still fucking stupid. I'll give you one example, okay? And I'm going back to her. Newsweek came out with an article saying that David Duke endorsed Tulsi Gabbard, and Tulsi Gabbard didn't denounce it.
Right.
And my friend ran it on Facebook. And I said, well, that's not entirely true. And I gave her a PolitiFact thing, which some people find biased, but I actually did the work for her. And I said, I went on Twitter.
You did the
And
homework.
David
right.
Duke said, I never endorsed her. I just liked the ideas of not being anti-war. I didn't endorse her. And Tulsi sent a tweet saying, my father wasn't allowed in whites-only bathrooms. You know, your beliefs are evil. And basically, paraphrasing, thanks, but no thanks.
Right.
So I proved not only reasonable doubt from her guilt, but proof of her innocence. And they're like, well, that's what the Newsweek said. So and they just ran it anyway. And those are the ones where you're trying to get your point across because you feel like if you get through to some of these people
Yeah.
and they see, not that you're right all the time, because
Right.
we're not right all the time.
No,
but
absolutely not.
but if they can see, hey, there's another world outside this bubble created by this tribalism.
Yeah.
And Joe Rogan uses that word a lot, and I'm borrowing it from him.
it's
This
a good
bubble
way to
created by
describe
tribalism is, Alex, it's exhausting.
Well, that's why, I mean,
I was sick longer. Look, I get a cold, it's gone
Yeah.
in 5 hours. I get a cold for like 3 days right now.
it takes it out of me. And it's just like, for me, I'm just like, politics aren't football. Like,
No.
no
Well said.
disrespect. I'm from Massachusetts.
No,
I'm a Sox fan. I'm a Patriots fan.
Tom Brady's my boyfriend.
So much that like I support them because I'm supposed to. You know what I mean? Like to be honest, I don't really follow football. But
there's a general
you can
principle.
afford to say something like that in sports.
Right.
You can't afford to say shit like that in politics because it affects people's lives.
Agreed.
Party loyalty with no nuance is in any direction is harmful. And I'm not saying that, it doesn't take uniting. Like, I'm going to vote for whoever the Democratic candidate is because we're in crisis, and I'd like to see
looked
the
at
end
the
of that
debate, and I
crisis.
think all of them definitely qualify more than Trump does.
I mean, some of them I'll have to hold my nose and do it, but I'll do it. Like,
Yeah.
of course, because we're currently in crisis, and the first step is to get out
but
of the
also
crisis. Then we can figure it out.
values-wise, but values-wise, if you look at the candidates, they're close enough.
They're close enough, yeah.
Right? Look, elections are won and lost all the time, but your values
I agree.
have to stay the same.
And
If you're one person, you still have to be your one person.
Well, and you're not electing one person. You're electing an entire platform. You're electing, you know what I mean? Like,
oh yeah.
With us getting this close to Roe v. Wade getting overturned, and us getting like this close
That's not
to
gonna
discrimination
happen.
laws getting rolled back, like it's just not funny. We can't dick around, and I get that. I get the need for party unity, but it makes me so sad. The thing that exhausts me is when something happens that isn't necessarily even political. Like, I'm trying to think of what a good example would be. Like somebody like police brutality, like a teenager gets shot and killed, and it, in a way that clearly shouldn't have happened, right? And when somebody there, I think that's something that ostensibly shouldn't divide people politically. It's morals. That was a kid. They were unarmed.
Yeah.
They didn't deserve the death penalty. This is a sad thing that happened.
And for those of you listening, basically what she's saying is, like, if you think it's the person that got shot, if you think it's his fault, you're a Republican.
That's what I'm saying.
But
Like,
you see how everyone picks that
when
side,
you see
they fall
people,
into the
they
slot.
check into what would the stance my party would take be, then
Right.
they're completely detaching themselves from the humanity of the situation, and
Right.
that breaks my heart
Yeah.
when it's about things like poverty and people are like, well, my party would say they should have pulled themselves up by their own bootstraps.
Yeah.
Instead of being like, that's a human person. How would I feel in that situation? What does the Bible say about helping poor people? Like, there are moral humanitarian questions you're supposed to ask yourself on a daily basis when it comes to interacting with other people. And when you put your party in between you and your empathy, it makes me so sad personally. And that's really why I kind of had to take a big step back, was because of that stuff. I was like, you know what?
Yeah.
Little kids getting sick in cages with no parents shouldn't be a political question.
You're not on my fucking team.
That's not
if
politics.
Anyone that's down with that, you're not on my fucking team, dude.
That's not politics. That has nothing to do with being a fiscal conservative. That has nothing to do with being, if anything, if you're religious, if you're like a Christian, you should find that fucking horrifying. And it makes it, the cognitive dissonance kind of breaks my brain a little. And I had to kind of acknowledge that I'm maybe not in a place where I can handle it right now.
Good.
And it made me take a really big step back from political involvement, because I was too emotional about it.
No, good. Listen, the Brechtian approach is only a good thing when everyone's on the same side. When
the Brechtian approach.
No, meaning collective change.
No,
right?
I know exactly. Yeah.
Sorry for those of you at home. I'm so sorry. The fuck? Used to be a volleyball podcast,
if this was
right?
our town.
Yeah. No, but there's two things that are important. One, the Brechtian approach only works if the collective change is for something that's, like you said, it's apolitical.
Yeah.
Two, the reason why people have gone so far this way and far that way is what you were talking about. How about just say, hey, you know what? I was this way and I realized that's not the way to go. And do you know why people don't do that? Because we don't forgive. We don't fucking forgive, Alex. The penalty, the consequence, because everyone's gone too far, the consequence is always death penalty equivalent.
Yeah.
Right? Someone says something wrong. They don't get suspended. They don't get reprimanded. You lose your fucking job. You're gone for 20 years of positive work where someone can take your worst moment. And I'm quoting someone, they take your worst moment, the worst time of your life, and use that as a concentration and just cut everything else out.
Sure.
To paint this picture of you, and that's who you are as a whole, as a person, as a collective whole. And it's unfair. So who the fuck is going to admit they're wrong?
Well,
who the fuck is going to openly admit they're wrong when the penalty is death?
What I actually think, I think this is where we divert a little, but it's okay. It's two sides of a very similar coin. I actually think that the problem is, I thought that was a dog barking. That was your straw. I was like, where is that dog? Oh my God. I think that a big part of the problem is that it's very, very, very hard for people to face truths that make them question their own complicitness and complacency. And so if, for example, Jordan Klepper, who did that show Opposition, I love that guy. I saw him tape that show a few times in New York.
Yeah, the show is super necessary. Like it, but whether you like it or you don't, the show and no one's ever done this for its originality and it's
totally
it's super necessary.
And Klepper is a great. No, it's fine. He's back doing the campaign trail for The Daily Show, which is Jordan Klepper Fingers the Pulse.
Yeah,
love that. Which I find necessary, but also, like, anytime we get to, like, Trump supporters are so stupid, I'm like, that's the same. It's not the same, because they still have a lot of power and the people that they're ridiculing don't. It's not the same.
Well, their machine's stronger.
But exactly, that's what I mean. It's not equivalent, but it's still not cool to delight in Schadenfreude is not cool, no matter what.
Yeah.
But he was doing this thing where he was...
She's like Schadenfreude.
Schadenfreude. Musical theater.
Yes.
He was doing this thing where he was in Iowa and he was asking people why they should get to be the first state that votes in the primaries when they're an entirely, like, a 90% homogenous state. And the debate is, well, maybe we should let a state with more diversity go. And the problem wasn't that nobody was coming through with an actual argument of, like, this is why we should actually be able to do it. Everybody got very sensitive, and they were like, well, we have diversity in our heart.
Oh, dear.
Which isn't a thing. It doesn't matter how much you're okay with black people. You're not one. It was a stupid thing to say, but it's an incredibly human response to, wait a minute, this means I have, is my humanity being called into question. Are they calling me a bad person? It's the same reason where when you point out that something is said is racist, they go, I'm not a racist. And you're like, well, I didn't say you were one. I said what you just said was, and that needs addressing. But people feel like their identity is being challenged, and they're afraid to do the self-assessment that it takes to grow and improve their relationships with other people. Yeah. And it's incredibly hard to do because people aren't in therapy. Like, it comes back to the fact that mental health is totally stigmatized.
We've come full circle, haven't we?
Nobody's self-analyzing in a way that might challenge their worldviews because it's really hard and incredibly uncomfortable.
No.
And I don't fault anyone for not wanting to do it, but it's necessary to improve as a human being. And it's also necessary to identify ways that you're harming other people.
Yeah. And I don't want to sound cocky, but not everybody is as comfortable in their own skin as we are.
No. Well,
right?
I'm in therapy twice a week.
Yeah.
I have to deal with my shit.
She's like, I had to become comfortable in my own skin. What the fuck are you talking about? Okay, Miranda is comfortable. Actually,
No.
She's like, I don't even want this camera
But
on me.
also, I mean, we went to theater school. We're at 9 a.m. We had to like touch each other's faces and cry and talk about like times we were traumatized. We did not have, it's weird. Theater school is weird. And it makes you incredibly...
You see why I'm me.
You see why we are the way that we are. Like,
Shit.
you had to like do sense memory work where you had to like dredge up a time you were sad when you were 12. Like, it sets you up to be slightly more comfortable being like, being self-analyzing. I think for some people it makes them go in the other direction, but that's like anything. But like, so we might have a head start.
I think we do.
You know what I mean?
Me,
it's hard.
Look,
I'm not saying it's not hard.
I'm going to give you an example, and I'm going to ask you how do we fix this? I believe sometimes smart people do stupid things.
Yes,
I believe
I agree.
people of high integrity get caught up in a moment of weakness where they're this, all right? And we both agree that just because someone says something stupid doesn't mean they're stupid. And I think the question is, how do we get everybody on the level of thinking that it's okay to make this mistake and no one's going to think that's who you are as a collective whole? You know what I'm saying? Like,
right. I definitely have thoughts on that.
I'll give you an example. The politician did a blackface thing, Halloween party, 1979.
Are we talking about Justin Trudeau, or are we talking about... No, 79 would have to be the guy from the South.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
1979.
Yeah.
Now, for me, on a general level, it is very unfair for someone to take something you did in 1979 and say that's who you are now. That's disingenuous. That's bullshit. What you can do is take someone's behavior in 1979 and you see consistencies, and then you see who they are now.
Sure.
And if who they are now identifies with this person, either, albeit maybe just a crude sense of humor, not a racist, just racially ignorant, how do we get people to say you're wrong and it's okay? I mean, how do you get people to accept
Sure. Accept an apology.
that they're wrong and it's okay?
Yeah, I definitely have thoughts on that matter. My opinion on that is, like, okay, let's take Louis C.K. Let's just take Louis C.K.
No, this is.
I was a big Louis C.K.
I laughed too. Come on.
Yeah, I was a big Louis C.K. fan. I thought his comedy was very funny. I thought it was brave in the way that he talked about his own personal issues. I didn't think it was perfect, but I enjoyed him. And then I remember reading the article like 5 years or like 3 years before it actually like any consequences happened, where these two female comedians were like, hey, he did some fucked up stuff on the tour and this is what happened. And nobody did anything. Like, nothing happened. They talked about it, nothing
He didn't
happened.
even get sent to the principal's office.
No, I mean, it was the same thing about how like, oh my God. I was going to say Bing Crosby. Bing Crosby did nothing. It's fine.
No.
Bill Cosby. That's who I mean.
I want to talk to you.
So, but like Bill Cosby's accusers were speaking out 10 years, 15 years before anything happened.
Yeah.
Like, there's a track record. It's established believability, not to mention people don't do that kind of shit for attention, because the kind of attention they get is to have to like move their house because they're getting desperate.
Oh, not to mention people who never knew each other telling the exact same story.
Right.
It's not like they all get together. I mean, that would be done in meticulous detail if they did that.
Yes. So this thing came out that Louis C.K. did. Nothing was done about it. I remember at the time being like, Nothing was done about it. I don't really know how I feel about this. Having kind of a uncomfortable but complicated response where I didn't entirely denounce him yet.
Right.
Which if a friend of mine had come to me and told me something that happened to them, and I was like, I don't know if I believe you, that would have been extremely hurtful to that friend. But I didn't know these people, and it's a human response. So then when it came out, and then other people came forward, and it was like, yeah, this is a pattern, and he basically confirmed that it was. I was like, this is not good. It's not the worst thing that could have happened. There's a chance. There's a small. In my mind, I was like, there is a chance that he could come back from this and actually do.
And what exactly was it? Educate the audience on this.
It was that he had, being the headliner on the tour, he had.
Was it a Copperfield thing, or was it a straight up rape thing?
It was indecent exposure thing. He got them into a hotel room and then kind of like
wangled his willy.
Started masturbating in front of them and tried not to let them leave.
He told them that
you can't leave till I
before.
Wait, you can't leave till I jizz?
About this. I think it's I think Dave Chappelle talked about this in one of his stand-ups.
But you can't leave till I jizz.
I mean, it's similar. It's Harvey Weinstein did something like that too, where he like jerked off in front of someone into a potted plant, and obviously he did a lot of horrible things, and that man deserves to rot in jail with his fucking walker. Go fuck yourself. Anyway, so my response to that was a shitty thing to do. That guy shouldn't have done that. He should have known better. He's an adult man. He has daughters. I mean, if you have it drives me crazy when people are like, oh, I have a mother and a sister. I wouldn't want that to happen to them. Like, you shouldn't want it to happen to any woman because they're a human being. Like, it's that simple. But he has daughters, so that he should be able to think like, oh, this is a person. Maybe this person wouldn't like this, the way this feels. I have a lot of power. I'm not gonna abuse that power by coercing these women into a situation where they feel violated and scared. Mm-hmm. That's not an okay thing to do. It's a wrong thing to do. That doesn't necessarily mean that he can't help heal the situation. If you do something wrong, you can make it right.
Right.
Instead, he went away. He issued like a non-apology where he was like, I'm sorry she felt that way, basically, which drives me crazy. That's not an apology.
Is he contesting that it was consensual?
No.
That it was okay? Is that his defense?
His defense is, I'm fucked up. Everybody knows I'm fucked up. Like, you should have known this.
Okay.
Which...
Well, not okay.
Way to not take responsibility as like a 48-year-old man. But it drives me insane. He's an adult. Like, that's how children respond.
Yeah.
But then he like went away for 6 months, and then he came back doing a set in which he was like just doubling down and was like, fine, if I'm a villain, I'm going to be a villain. And was like, kids whose friends were killed in school shootings, fuck you. Like, trans people, fuck you. He was just like doubling down to quote unquote be edgy, and I'm sorry, there's nothing edgy about shitting on people who have been discriminated against and murdered forever. That's a very old thing to do. That's a tired thing to do. And I was so annoyed because I was like, dude, all you had to do was be like, fuck.
Do you remember the line I was talking about?
I clearly have some issues.
Yeah, do you remember the line I was talking about?
Well,
you asked me what's crossing the line as far as like what you say?
Like, but all he had to do was like, accept that he did something that hurt another person, check in with himself, figure out why he did it, and really understand why it was wrong, and issue a genuine apology. Like, it's
to them.
Yeah. Yeah. And he didn't. He doubled down.
And I don't know if you apologize to your fans, because maybe the demographic of people that follow him don't think he needs to, but definitely apologize to them.
I don't know if you need to apologize to fans. I think what you do need to do is accept responsibility in front of fans.
Because if that's between him and them, yes,
right.
You gotta.
Yeah.
I'll give you another example. Senator Al Franken, right?
Right. That was a complicated one.
Basically, for those of you at home, and I did a lot of reading up on this, because he's someone that, I watch a lot of alternative political talk shows, like Jesse Ventura had something he was on, and he's on both channels, both major networks, all three major networks.
Yeah.
He, a few years ago, in a Saturday Night Live, it's like this weirdly politically incorrect and sometimes sexually charged environment, thought it was okay to like grab someone or whatever, or play grab or whatever, this and that. So 10 years later happens. Girl comes out, she's like, you know what? I had a problem with that. Al Franken says, you know what? I didn't think it was a problem, but if you do, I apologize. I'm sorry. She's like, you know what? I accept your apology. And they still went for his
I kind of feel like
fucking
Al Franken
head.
is the only actual victim of cancel culture, because in so many ways, cancel culture is not real. Like,
But to me, that's an
Kevin
example.
Hart doesn't get to host the Oscars, but he gets a Netflix documentary.
No, but to
you know
me,
what I mean? Like,
no, but to me, yeah, exactly. Oh,
cancel
Kevin
culture
Hart,
doesn't exist.
Kevin Hart, man, that
except for in some certain cases, and I think he was a victim of the time when it happened. But what bums me out about it is when
fucked up. He apologized. She accepted his apology.
Right. No, I agree. I agree that he shouldn't have lost his job over that.
No.
It just bums me out because he was like in his 30s when that happened. That one, he didn't know better. That was like a not okay thing to do. It drives me crazy when adults don't know.
And how do you know what's okay or not when the same night she goes on stage and she makes out with Robin Williams?
Well, because that was her, consent.
Dude, well, did Robin Williams say? I mean,
I don't know.
When he's dead now, he's going to come back and say, you know what? I took exception to that.
I don't know. I actually don't know. That's a very good question. I don't know. But I mean, but the thing is, it's not just him. A lot of people don't understand consent. And that realization really blew my mind. I was like, it should be so simple.
Dude, Miranda was in my last podcast when I talked about Miranda. Remember?
It's a rape podcast.
No, yeah. Remember I was
what?
What's
happening?
Well, we covered Harvey Weinstein at least 3 fucking times.
That motherfucker.
I had Jason Olive on the show. He's on Tyler Perry's House of Pain, but he was also All-American at U of H. He's a volleyball player, so he was my crossover that allowed me to do all this.
Sure.
Drew Cannon, then I had Jeff Samuels, and I was like, there's rape, and then there's politically correct, and then there's gray area where you're like, do I kiss her first?
Sure.
Does she kiss me back? Do I ask to kiss her or whatever? And me personally, I got into this long story, and I'm not going to do it again because there are some people that actually follow every episode.
Sure.
They want to hear the same story again. I've only made the first move twice.
Yeah.
In my life, as far as kissing someone first.
Yeah.
I've only made the first move twice. I'm 50 this year, and it's because the first time was so extreme, and the second time was even worse than extreme. It was accommodating. Like, she kissed me back, and and in my mind, like looking back retrospectively, or not now, but that recency bias, she did it because it was, it's not bad, and it's not a bad thing. It's not, it's not what I wanted to do. So it's one of those things where I actually ended up apologizing because it was on my fucking mind because I kissed her twice that day. A student at Marymount, actually. And when I apologized, she said, thank you. Like,
for the apology?
Thank you for reading my mind on that one.
Yeah.
And I just said, fuck, I ain't kissing nobody. I ain't kissing. Because listen, the first time it happened, the girl was like, motherfucker, you lost your mind. So that's the extreme example, where you get held out. Oh, okay, shit. I was wrong. But the second time was worse because she went with it, and it's this place under this place where men and women get to meet and talk, and I got that from John Patrick Shanley, Dream Examines Pillow. There's a place under this place where men meet and talk like mammals, and it's old, and it's deep, and it's time tested, it's old as the fucking stars. You know it, I know it. Fucking Harvey Weinstein should have fucking known better. And these are guys where if your sexual maturity, it's not like a Michael Jackson thing. Your sexual maturity dictates your conscience after it happens. We're like, even if you fuck up, just come back and say, I'm sorry. Or just come back and say, do we need to have a conversation about that?
And then adjust your habit. If you realize you've done something that's fucked up, don't do that fucked up thing anymore and take responsibility for the fucked up thing you did.
Or find somebody and have like a sit down and
people.
be like, look, I like to get slapped. You need to, you have my authorization to rough me the fuck up.
Can I just say, like, I got so annoyed when like the Me Too movement was first happening and everybody was like pouring out their stories. I mean, I contributed a few, like, everybody, that's why it's Me Too. We all have fucking been through some fucked up shit with some predators, or normal guys who don't realize they're doing anything wrong, but it was still fucked up. You know what I mean? And it drove me crazy that guys would be like, well, it's like you can't even shake a woman's hand anymore.
Right.
And it's
Oh,
like,
that's
So you make that a
amazing.
logic. They make that a logical leap.
You're like,
I'm like,
there's a lot
you
of
can
gray
shake
area.
my hand. You can't then pull my hand to your dick. Like, why are you having
me
a hard
shaking my
time
hand.
with this? Like, and like, oh God, I hit the microphone. I'm passionate. It's like-
Apologize.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Oh, I don't know how to interact with women at work anymore. How are you interacting with them before that makes you think that you might get in trouble for like molesting somebody? Were you slapping an ass? Like, maybe don't do that at work. It's
Right.
work. You shouldn't be
Yeah.
touchy-feelying or talking about inappropriate things
And
anyway.
that's-
It's the workplace.
And that cross.
Use your
and that's,
fucking adult brain.
But that's that's exactly what I'm trying to get at right now. There's a big gray area, right, where actually touching someone and you don't know them that well, that crosses that gray area where you're on the other side,
Right.
And then there's a level of sexual assault. Then on
Yeah.
an extreme, the extreme, of course, is rape.
Yes.
And then all the way over here is you can't say, wow, that's a really nice dress. That's well thought out without thinking that's harassment. Where I think that falls on the inside part of this gray.
Well, so like, remember
Someone's-
when the catcalling debate was happening? And like, somehow I woke
Yeah.
up one day and the news decided to talk about catcalling for
Yep.
2 weeks. And I was
Yeah.
like, again, this is something we should just all understand.
You know what I
Why
hate
is this
about
being
that? Do you
debated?
remember the video?
Like-
The video that went viral.
Yes.
The video was super necessary. I
The
didn't like it
video?
at the time.
I live the video.
I didn't like it at the time. I was a prisoner of the moment, and I didn't like it at the time. And I'll get into that the why later.
No, but you just said you were a prisoner of the moment. Like,
super. But looking back retrospectively, like it or hate it, super necessary because it
Yes.
makes people have a fucking conversation. Here's what I didn't like about it.
what?
It was heavily edited that it omitted anyone who was Caucasian. Everyone that
You
was
think?
hitting on that girl was fucking black or Latino.
Yeah.
How many fucking blacks and Latinos do you see in Midtown Manhattan in the middle of the day?
Yeah.
Maybe the construction workers. Maybe those guys are this or that. And all of those guys are white.
Yeah.
All right. You're going to tell me this girl went past a construction site and a white person didn't say, wow, I wish I had a swing like that in my backyard.
Sure.
I hate to see her go.
What?
I hate to see her go, but I love to watch her leave.
Yeah.
You trying to tell me that this girl who's
That's
wearing
totally
a tight
fair,
fitted
yeah.
shirt with her boobs are sticking up, where even other women are gonna look at it.
Sure.
They're not gonna say nothing about
She
it.
can wear whatever the fuck she wants, though.
To me, it's don't say anything.
Yeah, mind your business.
Look, yeah, don't undress them with your eyes.
No.
But there are some girls who they can wear normal clothes and they're pretty enough, or there are features that stand out where either other girls are
Yeah.
like, God damn, something's wrong with your back.
Let me tell you something. Before I had a breast reduction surgery when I was 18, I used to be 32 double G.
Was that before Conceal Her?
Yes.
Okay.
Shit. And I was a teenager. Like, and so I had like grown men like leaning out of cars and like saying what they wanted to do to me, and I was like 14 years old, and like it's undeniably, unequivocally fucked up. And I remember this one news lady, it was Fox News, and she was like, they were all like, see, this is what I mean about like politicizing issues that shouldn't be political. They were like, well, the liberals don't like it, so we're gonna have to take the stance that it's good. And so all of a sudden everybody was like, catcalling's great. And so this one woman on this, it was like Fox and Friends or something, and she was like, I don't know about you ladies, but when I go out and I walk past a construction site and they don't say things to me, I'm offended. And I was like, listen, lady, a kink is a kink. I'm not here to kink shame you. I'm not here to fetish shame you.
Mm-hmm.
You like what you like, and that's great. Some people like being pissed on. Doesn't mean that everybody should get pissed on just in case they like it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, a kink is a kink. You might like it. That doesn't mean the rest of us should have to deal with it just in case we like it.
Yeah. I heard two elderly ladies at Starbucks having that conversation. They're like, they're not calling anymore. And she's like, I've officially arrived. I'm old. And she's like, me too. They're not calling ananymore.
But like, how sad is it that that's where they get their validation from?
Yes, and that's the point I was trying to make. Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Look, I remember a guy came up to me on the subway and he complimented me in a way where I was like, that's how you do it. That's how you fucking do it. He came up to me. He didn't like do this thing where he's like, take your headphones out. He didn't.
No.
I was standing there like I didn't have any cues saying don't talk to me, which should always be respected because it's usually because of safety.
Yeah.
It's usually because people have been attacked and they're scared. Like I've been attacked on the street, and that's why I'm scared of men on the street. Like, and men should be aware of this and take responsibility for how scary they might be, whether they mean it or not.
Yeah.
But so this guy came up to me and was like, hey, I'm sorry to bother you. I just want to say I really like your style. I think you look great today. And I was like, Thank you. And then he
You're
got
like, damn, was
and
that?
then he got on his train and he went away.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's how you compliment somebody. You do not follow them. You don't say something sexual. You don't look at their tits and their ass in a way that like
is
you
your
can't-
husband married?
If you don't know how to
Right?
compliment
He
a
must be
woman,
gay.
it is your job to figure that out by talking to other men. It is not our job to make it easier for you.
The only thing that
And if you're scared that your compliment is going to be
No.
read as harassment, keep your fucking mouth shut until you
don't
figure it
say
out.
it.
and dude, I thank God that I was raised by women. My real father I never met. My mom
Really?
married again. My stepfather got him around when I was 10, and that's the guy that taught me how to that old school. It might not help, but it doesn't hurt. That kind of old school gentleman thing, like hold the chair
absolutely.
for a woman,
Sure.
let her go. Let
Might not hurt, but it doesn't.
Yeah,
might not help, but it doesn't hurt.
yeah. So the old school virtue, as far as like how to be respectful to women, I learned from him. But how to treat a lady, just came from having 3 sisters, 3
Sure.
aunts, or whatever. And I talk to people on the train all the time. But the cool thing is, the same on a class structure, the same thing I would say to a homeless person, the same thing I would say to a billionaire. So
Yeah.
that's on a unisex.
I don't think
thing.
there's anything wrong with
but
talking
like,
to
but
people
like
on
on
the street.
But like, if a girl's jogging and she looks good, she'll run by and I'm like, hey, trust me, it's worth it. I'll say something like that. I'm like, trust me, it's worth it. And the way I say it, it's
Yeah.
not like I'm coming at her like, oh my God,
Yeah.
I want me some of that.
Yeah.
This girl jogged by and said, trust me, it's worth it. And she just goes, she does this and just keeps going. Like I said,
Yeah.
go about our business.
Right. I mean,
know
and
what
you
I'm saying?
probably
But
have
there's
figured out a way
but
to
there's
do it
way
that
to do
isn't
it.
that isn't
And
imposing.
and I thank God I never had to go through
Because like
that.
all it comes down to is acknowledging that living as a woman is like navigating an obstacle course of sexual danger.
Yes.
And like we keep our fucking keys between our
Yeah.
hands and we have to like text each other where we're going so that if we don't arrive,
all the extra
they know that
This
we're
is
murdered.
as
like,
awake as this woman's been the entire
yes,
podcast.
but that's what I'm saying.
dude.
Like if men understand that that's how much labor we have to do every day just to get through the day, they'll probably. I mean, if they have any empathy about it, then they'll know how to talk to us because they'll just be thinking for a second. If I say this or if I move like this, am I going to scare her? It's that simple, and you don't want to scare her. Don't scare people.
For the guys that aren't aware of it, I think that was
Yeah.
the craziest thing to me that I had to explain to my boyfriend and my guy friends. Like, no, I carry this on my key so I could keep it between
Right.
my hands because if somebody runs up on me, and
We
me as
have
like a
to think
6
like
foot
that.
female shouldn't have to like. I'm bigger than most guys, and I'm still worried. So
Right, because it has nothing even really to do with that.
yeah.
It's also about your environment too. Like, let's say I grew up at Flatbush Avenue, and it was really nice until it became just really dangerous. you know.
Really?
Harlem, night can be kind of scary if you're not familiar with that territory, and if you don't identify black and white, where this fear just comes in. And those are examples of neighborhoods where, like, if you're a man, you're still gonna be you're still worried about it. So I kind of I take that and multiply that by 3.
Yeah.
And that's how a woman feels.
Yeah,
You
and,
know,
and
And
anywhere.
all the
Yeah.
time.
Anywhere.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter what
And-
neighborhood because it'll happen in any neighborhood.
Yeah.
I remember like I was living in the Bronx.
Well, the
and
more familiar the neighborhood, the more it might happen with someone you know.
right, exactly.
I
Which
mean,
it does.
yeah,
That's
remember-
even scarier.
people who like get to know you in
I'm
a
not-
friendly way
yeah.
and then they turn on you. It's
Yeah,
so
I'm not.
so
And
disappointing.
we're not talking about like that guy on the 6 train that like raped 6 women. Do you remember that story in New York?
Did you hear the one that just happened about the guy who literally picked the girl up and tried to run her off the train?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
They got that.
Let him try that shit with her.
Well, they
I
got
know,
they
that's-
got
let him
him.
try that shit with her, yo.
She was
Thank
asleep.
God.
She was asleep,
yeah,
and her boyfriend was sleeping next to her.
yeah.
Yeah.
This one would have.
But-
He would have caught a 3-piece on
The
the soda, boy.
the street handled
Mm-hmm.
him because they found him and they beat the shit out of him and turned him into the police.
Because if you
Yeah.
see a girl getting, carried out with a guy.
You should maybe do something about it.
But like
Yeah.
extreme examples like that are not what we're talking about. Like that guy on the 6 train, basically, if anyone that's rode the 6 train, there's a stop between the next to last stop and Brooklyn Bridge where the train sits between stops.
yeah.
And if it's late and if it's at night, and it's the train has 10 cars and there's a motorman in the front and there's a conductor in the
Yeah,
middle.
that's why
There's
it's really scary to be on a car by yourself.
There's a whole lot of shit that could happen by some freak out there. Who's I don't know whose dick. I guess his dick is already ready.
Right? How does that happen?
Did they just walk around with a hot 97 rhyme ready? So those are extreme examples, right? It's just like, yeah, just get me.
Sure, those are extreme
Yeah.
examples.
But the examples we're talking about is being in a neighborhood where someone sees you all the time. You know their face, they know your face.
Yeah.
You don't know them. You ain't fishing buddies or nothing, right?
No.
But that's the person. You're like, is this the person that's gonna fuck with me tonight?
Yeah.
Wow, dude.
Going back to the question that you asked me a bit ago, about how did you phrase it? How we can forgive people?
How do we get people to understand it's okay? And how do we forgive?
The
question was twofold.
Is,
so if you can answer one of those things, and we're gonna wrap up in a bit, that's a win.
My perspective on that is it's the responsibility of the person who did the hurtful thing to respond accordingly.
Right.
If more people, like if that politician had been like, can you fucking believe I did blackface? That is so fucked up. Nobody should be doing that.
No, I was so uneducated back then.
Yeah, but
it was Halloween. And it was Halloween. Of course I didn't think I did anything wrong.
But I'm not into that. I'm not into like, hey, like it's understandable why I did it. I'm a grown up now and I can understand why you guys find that so fucking horrible. I've actually spent the time to research the history of blackface in America and it's horrifying.
But don't you see the correlation?
I did something stupid, but I take responsibility for having done that, and I am sorry.
Right.
If he had responded like that, then people have no business. And then that's
not
the
correlation.
Now.
No, but apologizing and understanding the why are binary in this case.
I agree.
All right.
Yes.
So.
But I just mean if your only response is to go on the defense, then I don't really care about how you're treated after that because you haven't taken actual responsibility. If your response is to genuinely delve into how and why you hurt someone and what your participation in that was and how you can make it better.
Of course.
That's a real apology.
Yeah. Well, of course, there's a difference between saying it was totally innocent and I'm sorry or it was totally innocent.
Yeah. Well...
Right.
But I mean, kids say they're sorry because they know it's going to get them off the hook.
Yeah.
Saying, I'm sorry that I hurt you because I did this.
Yeah.
That's a genuine adult apology. I work with kids. I try to teach them to do that all the time. If you kick your sister.
But don't you agree that
and if you
sorry, go ahead.
If you kick your sister and you say, I'm sorry, I was mad, that's not a real apology.
No.
If you kick your sister and go, sorry, that's not a real apology either. That's what you say to get yourself off the hook. If you kick your sister and then you say, I'm really sorry that I hurt you, I bet that probably feels awful. I'm going to try not to do it again.
If you kicked your sister 6 years ago because you were a generally angry person back then,
right.
and you said it came from this ridiculous place, and I'm sorry, I'm not that person anymore. That's synonymous to what I'm talking about.
Right.
My
as
mistake
long as
was
it involves
innocent.
Taking
it was Halloween.
Responsibility.
It was Halloween. We were all fucking stupid back then, and hopefully all of those people are as sorry as I am now because I'm not that person now. And like you said, and that does answer my question.
Yeah.
Holy shit, you just knocked it out. It was a 2-part question. No, it was a 2-part question. She just knocked it out. Twofold, dude.
That's me playing baseball.
You gonna bat lefty all day?
Go Sox.
Kidding, that's your right. She's like, is this lefty?
I don't know.
I was just trying to mess with you.
Swish.
She's like, apologize.
Apologize.
I'm sorry. I was a fool back then. That was a long time ago, okay? Now I realize that I'm not that person that messes with people's left and right.
I accept your apology.
Oh my God. I accept your hand. Shake my hand,
It's
girl.
probably really sweaty.
Look, when this place is hot.
It's so hot in here.
Do you know what?
Well,
I like it hot for 2 reasons. One, central air, messes with the feed. I don't have padded walls or whatever.
Yeah.
But 2, when it's hot and you have something to talk about.
Gets you there.
Yes.
Oh, torture.
Oh my God. Oh shit. Go ahead, please.
My answer to the question is if the person who did something hurtful makes a genuine apology while taking full responsibility, then it is the onus of the people involved to forgive.
Right.
It is not the onus of the people who are bearing witness to do extra work to forgive if that person hasn't done that work themselves.
Right. Yeah.
That's all it is.
Yeah, it's like who are you?
And it's hard.
Who were you back then, and who are you now?
Well, but also make sure that you're not like dismissive about it because somebody's response to blackface is so valid.
No, but the apology comes with it.
Sure.
If I did a blackface thing back then and I'm a different person now, they're binary. I apologize because that was stupid. I'm not that person. I'm certainly not that person now. But
and I understand exactly why this hurts you.
Yeah.
Like I don't think that guy took full responsibility for like, I mean, look at, you still have white fucking sororities doing blackface now. They clearly don't they clearly haven't learned.
Listen,
about
I didn't fully educate myself on the logic or to me it was illogical then until recently because
I learned about it in theater school.
Look, you got I was a wrestling head back then. You had D-Generation X, Imitate Nation of Domination. They did blackface. You have Robert Downey Jr. playing a fucking black guy, which he has whatever. He has immunity because he's playing a character, and I get and you gotta let
it was
artists
done within
work.
a particular context, and I can understand.
So it's one of those things where someone who's identifies being black. I grew up on Flatbush Avenue. I identified half of my life being African American,
Absolutely, yeah.
just a light skinned brother. So it's one of those things where there are so many black people that didn't see the sense, that are just educating themselves. I'm like, okay, I see what's wrong, and that motherfucker shouldn't be doing that.
Yeah.
he got some explaining to do. Right.
The thing is, it's okay if somebody does something out of ignorance, so long as they actually learn from it.
Yeah.
And
but for the people who are doing it now,
especially,
for the people who are doing it now, especially mindfully aware that it's a hot button topic and why it's wrong, and historically why it's wrong.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you doing?
How could you possibly think that's fine? Like, use your brain for 5 seconds.
We're gonna end this podcast by saying they are a compilation of our favorite word, our favorite curse word.
Motherfuckers.
Close.
Asshats.
Yes.
Dipshits. So we can all agree that people who do blackface are dipshits and asshats.
Asshats. Yes, wearing your ass for a hat.
That's a great place to land.
Ladies and gentlemen, we cracked our first 2 hours. I like it. Hey. We got 1 hour 59 minutes twice. But my dear girl, we plowed through this with a tank, and you're not taking no bus back. I'm gonna give you a ride, okay?
Oh, thanks.
It also gives me an excuse. I'll tell you why when we get off the air.
All right.
Love you, Alex.
Love you too.
Love you, Alexandra.
Thanks for
and
having
it's so
me.
good seeing you.
Love both of you.
For my tech, my hostess with the mostest, that's Miranda Gagne right there. This is Alex right there. That's Alex right there. I am Jason DeBiss, and for all of you, I say, love you. So long.
Don't let a man see your chunks. Clumps.
Bam! Right there.